It's Bro Plata. Yay! For some reason, I look slow and choppy, so I look sexy, of course. This is the mega show. We are starting to have a little bit of fun with this on a Friday. For anybody watching on the lovely MMAholes.com as well, go follow MMA Holes. They're the reason we live and breathe on the internet right now, and I'm very happy about that. Yeah, they've gotten us a boost, man. They've gotten us a huge boost in views.
I'm aware, and it's good. We love those guys. That's good. What's going on with your? What's going on with your shit? Is your internet not good enough for your camera? Is that the problem now?
I don't know. I'm very today. This week has been a week. This week has been a fucking week, man. It's work has been kind of hell because it's busy season, and who knows why my computer and my laptop aren't really, or my stuff's not really working. I'm thinking about getting a MacBook here soon so I can at least have something a little faster. And with more memory on it. So who knows what's going to happen with that. And we're in HD now, both of us. Tim has his lovely tapestry behind him. He is in the bunker. He is in he is planning world domination as we speak.
That's true. I'm just
always
putting pins up here and just not tell you why. Just like next episode there'll be a pin in like Malta for some reason.
You write you have a pin that just says Wakanda and Africa, like just out of nowhere. Yeah. You'd be like, he discovered it. No, the vibranium.
Maybe I can find it. Well, Africa's right behind my head here.
Did you watch the new episode of Falcon Winter Soldier?
I did. Yeah, we can't talk about it though.
Well, I mean, we can give our opinion on at least. You know, the episode itself. I liked it.
It's fine. I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about this anyway. You see how much hate Wyatt Russell's getting on the internet? They're going after that agent? Guy. What?
You mean U.S. agent? I don't call him Captain America. He is U.S. agent. That's what he's going to become.
Walker.
Yeah.
People are giving him
John
shit
Walker.
because of how much they hate the character. It's hilarious. You're giving the actor shit for how much they hate the character. He's doing his job. He's supposed to be unlikable. This has been his best acting job of anything I've seen him in. Other things I've seen him in, I'm like, this guy isn't that great of an actor. I know he's a Russell, so he gets a shot. That's fine, but he's really good in this. So I changed my mind on Wyatt Russell because of this show. He's doing a really good job. But yes, his character is an asshole.
Oh, yeah, and that's how he is in the comic.
I knew that shit was going to happen, too. Fucking knew it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
John Walker's episode 1.
John Walker's a piece of shit. And is he Kurt Russell's kid?
Yes.
Really? I can kind of see that now. He did look kind of like Kurt Russell in this episode, like acting wise. They have the same facials, like when it comes to like being dicks. So especially with your dad's ego. So that's a nice
grandson of great baseball owner Big Russell.
Yes, and great actor on Bonanza.
That too. We've talked about that before. We talked about how much we love that documentary. We both wish we could be Dallas Mavericks, Portland Mavericks. I don't want to be a Dallas Maverick. It wouldn't work out.
No. I like Mark Cuban, but I don't want to work for him.
Yeah,
he's nice
exactly. But Bing Russell would be a decent boss. Mark Cuban, he'd be a decent boss if you're winning for him, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. If you're winning, he loves you to begin with. So that's a nice way of Mark Cuban to me is kind of he's a Pittsburgh guy, so I always have to kind of like him because I'm a Pittsburgh sports fan. But it's interesting. I am choppy as fuck right now, man. I'm gonna have to take my camera and everything downstairs. I think that's what we're gonna have to do, Tim. We're gonna make I'm gonna make an executive decision right now. And I'm going to move my stuff downstairs while we're on air because you talk and I will be right. Talk about your feelings. Talk about your day. Talk about the fact that, you made us late because you had to have whiskey in your system, you son of a bitch.
Bourbon. Yes, because I'm American. Damn it. Bourbon. All right. Bourbon is only American. Anyone who says that they've had a bourbon from another country is lying. I know some countries do that now. It's like, oh, no, we have Canadian bourbon. No, bourbon is American.
Yes.
American. All right, go do your thing. Go do your thing.
I will. I'm going to put the camera on you.
All right. Here it is. Check out my bunker, everybody. So this has been a thing. Okay, I had this tapestry for a while now. And what the problem is, my old camera it couldn't figure out the black background. So it'd make me look like I was glowing, like a ghost. It was weird. So I got a new camera and it was kind of still happening. So I bought lights on Amazon. They're kind of cheap, and I have one on right now. So I'm kind of in the dark basement with one light that I got today in the mail from the great people at Amazon. That's the thing, man. Knowing the conditions those people work in Amazon makes me feel like a dick every single time that I order from Amazon. But as a customer, Amazon's amazing. It makes me feel like shit, right? I have Prime, and I buy a bunch of shit from it, right? I bought this Wednesday night, and it came today, and I live it out in the middle of nowhere, and they pull that shit off. It's great as a customer, but then every time, same thing with Walmart. There's the things Walmart's been doing their employees forever. I wrote a research paper about it in college. Like, Walmart, man, is evil corporation. However, it's so convenient. So they get you. Amazon is how they get you. Anyway, we've been spending some money so far. We're totally in the hole in this podcast, 100%. It's just like $50 this tapestry, but I like it. Also, it was supposed to be big enough for you not to see the walls on the side, but then I got the new camera and it's at a different angle, so it's not quite as wide as I hoped it'd be, but it's okay. It's still pretty sweet. I like it a lot. You got the map of the world here. Oh, little America's a little stretched out there. I'll fix it, y'all. I got it. Nope, maybe I don't. I'll have to Velcro it later. Anyway, I think it's pretty sweet. You got all the spots there, right? So anytime we talk about a fighter, I can just do one of these and say, hey, it's from this place or this place. So I can do shadow puppets. That's fun. All right, I wanted to get some knickknacks here, right? Because you can see what's going on over here, right? So then I realized I don't really have any MMA stuff. The only stuff I have is like stuff I've had since I was a kid. Like I haven't bought any baseball knickknacks in my adulthood, right? The newest one I have is this right here, Tom Berenger's Jake Taylor bobblehead from the movie Major League. But I got that at a ball game, right? It's pretty great. I think it's awesome. He has bobble knees. One fell off during a move. It's kind of a bummer. But I got the one MMA thing I have so far is that Hoist Gracie DVD right there. What's it called? Ultimate Hoist Gracie. It's pretty cool. That's like the first thing I saw when I learned the real history of the UFC as far as the backstory and Zuffa and all that. I think they talk about that and how it started and whatnot and how Zuffa bought it for $2 million. And also, as a lot of it's about Hoist Gracie. So really, they say it's about Hoist Gracie, but also they use this propaganda for themselves, which is very, very on brand for Zuffa. But it's good. When I sold all my DVDs, I thought I sold this one, but apparently I didn't. I kept it. Good move. Also, I got Mike Piazza that somebody gave me out of the trash back in 2002. This is a Subway series. I'm not a Mets fan. I'm an Indians fan, but he's a Hall of Famer. Respect to him. That's a Subway series bobblehead right there. And I got a Browns helmet. I got Crusher right there, my Browns dog, and I got Tim Couch right there. On this side right now, I think I have papers and an empty beer can. So that's what we have there. I have the one light working right now. I have two coming up. Anyone's listening, I love you. You're the best. Especially, listen, if anyone wants to replace Ray, let me know now. Because it needs to happen. Hey, Casey, what's up, buddy? Hey, it's just you and me right now, brother. Yeah, man, we're talking about DMX for sure. DMX passed away today. He had some sort of overdose, right? And then he was in a coma, and then he eventually had no brain function. Like it got that bad. So I guess what happened is the family had to pull the plug, which is a bummer. Because DMX, man. DMX is the man. I don't listen to a ton of hip hop, but I'm well aware of DMX. He's going to give it to you. He's going to give it to us now. It is a bummer. I know Ray would probably talk about it and cry because that's what Ray does. He does that kind of shit. But yeah, we did start late today. It was my fault because I woke up from my pre-podcast nap, which I often take. And then I went to the freezer and realized I have no bourbon. I'm like, come on, dude, it's Friday. I gotta knock this out. So I'm like, Ray, I gotta do this. I gotta go do this. So we had to push it for me to go to the local grocery store where the liquor store is, and me to pick up some shit. So I did that. So now I have my Jim Beam in my Hardee's cup like a professional. And we're gonna go. We're gonna talk about a lot of good stuff today. You know what I really wanted to talk about with Ray? I'll do it now until Ray gets back. I've been doing some research, and I've come to the conclusion that the Heaven's Gate cult is right. They were right. If you don't know who that was, it was a cult that in the 90s, like 39 of them committed mass suicide because they thought they were going to go up to like this other level. It's kind of heaven, but they call it the next level. I think they got it right, man. I mean, we've been seeing these UFOs and stuff, right? These UFOs and shit be going around. Lately the CIA told us UFOs are real. What are they there for? They're there to get these people to heaven, like the Heaven's Gate cult. These people were right the whole time, and we're out here looking like assholes. Yeah, it's mixed with soda, Casey. I got Coke Zero. I do Coke Zero. That's the kind of classy guy I am. I do Coke Zero and bourbon. So, that and so the Heaven's Gate cult was right. The castration crop was probably not right. Not all of them got castrated. There was one guy in the documentary on HBO that I watched that. It's pretty good. One guy there that's all believed and still believes in all of the teachings of the Heaven's Gate cult, but he had to leave because he couldn't stop masturbating, which is, that's a problem, right? We all have those issues, right? Man, if I could just stop masturbating, I could get this done. I guess. I don't know. Like, listen, I can understand the cults that are basically just meditation and boning. Like, those are fun cults. I get in with one of those. So this cult, like, for some reason, everyone had to be abstinent. So I guess it's a problem. The guy had to leave because he couldn't stop masturbating. It's either that or gets castrated, and he didn't get castrated, and he still couldn't stop masturbating. So instead of getting castrated, he just left. And he also didn't kill himself. There's also some people that after the 39 people killed themselves at once, there's three more people that killed themselves after that because they're like, yeah, we left the group, but we're still going up, bro. We're still going up. Yeah, of course, I got my ice too. Yes, Casey, got my Jim Beam and ice. I put your message up here, but Ray has all the controls. I make Ray do all the hard stuff, so I'm basically like a guest on my own podcast because I don't have any of the controls. I could, but I just don't. So that's what it is. We had a guy named Harrison, who's the man, who was running stuff for us, but he got a night job. So it is what it is, and we couldn't pay him nearly as much as he would get at his minimum wage night job. So it is what it is. We're running stuff by ourselves. So anyway, this Heaven's Gate cult, all right? Eventually, they thought that their bodies would kind of just turn into aliens, right? And then one of the leaders, there's two leaders, right? She died of cancer, and then the other, their names are T and Doe, right? Doe is the guy. Doe was like, after T died, he's like, man, this can't be right. We messed something up. Had to. If she died like a normal human death, and he's like, it must be spiritual. Like our souls go up, bro. That must be it, right? And then like 20, 30 years later, like I think it was maybe only like 10 years after she died. There's some comet coming to Earth. I forget the name of the Hale something comet. And they thought that was the aliens coming to get him. So like, bro, we need to dip out. We need to dip out. So they all started taking shit.
Tim, I gotta interrupt you. Your talk. I've been listening to the podcast. And Marshall Applewhite had a lot of good ideas. That literally, to me, and that guy that was masturbating, he needs to get on some stuff at Infowars.com. It's the place to get all your masturbatory needs. We have glyphosate-free hand gels, and then we also have a bunch of other stuff that we have toys now. I have sex toys because I'm always at the demon parties, and it's definitely something you got to do. But I'm gonna hop off here. Love you guys.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, Alex.
Ray will be back in a minute. I love that guy. Ray is an amazing guy. You suck, Tim, but Ray is amazing. So Alex Jones out.
Thanks for calling in, Alex. Alex Jones calling in from his bunker in Texas. I'm here in my bunker in Ohio. Hopefully Ray will be here soon after he's got his internet here sorted out. I think we'd all agree, though, this would just be a better show with me by myself, would it not? I mean, I probably need like a list of stuff so I didn't start rambling, going, what? I don't know. What's next? Maybe I could do that. But besides that, I think I could just do this like Tim Dillon style.
Hi.
What do you think, Ray? Just me by myself for now on. What do you think?
I mean, I honestly, at this point, with the way my internet is, you're pretty much doing it by yourself. So that's always a fun time. Because fucking my internet sucks. Um, but hey, everybody.
If it's not working, you could always go back to your old camera. I mean, that probably would help some.
Honestly, I think it's my laptop. To be, if I'm being fully like on point with this, my laptop just sucks, and also the place that I'm at is a little fucked up. I had to go into the black box of doom for me to actually have a decent signal. So,
well, the black curtain's a nice touch, dude. You missed it, dude. Alex Jones called in. He's called in a couple times before. Yeah, you missed him. You missed him.
Damn it! He's such a nice guy. I heard he was saying wonderful things about me, so that's a good thing.
He likes you for some reason, which makes sense because you think all of his conspiracies are true. But I was just telling people about. I've been wanting to talk to you about this all week. The Heaven's Gate cult, but I pretty much covered what I needed. I'm pretty sure they're right. And they dipped out, and they're up there at the next level, laughing at us. Dude, what do you think all these UFOs are flying around for, man? CIA says there's UFOs. Why? Because they've been picking people up, picking their souls up, going to the next level. Castrating each other.
I've always believed in UFOs. It's always been like a thing that always interested me is like, are we alone in the universe? All that kind of shit. And honestly, I don't think that we are like alone. That's a very like, how can I put this? The alpha brain is definitely working right now. It's not helping me at all.
Told you, man. I think that's still a waste of money. I'm taking it right now, but it costs too much money. I got that Pat Miletich magic dirt. I've been taking that.
Magic dirt from Pat Miletich. He gets it from his farm in Iowa.
He doesn't actually. It comes from a farm in Canada.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's Canadian dirt.
But like with the
that's UFO, how much that country is than us. The dirt is magic.
The dirt is magic. I've seen it myself. I've played those kids in hockey. They're eating the dirt constantly, like Squirrely Dan and Letterkenny. Right. I honestly, they're all using words with S's at the end of it, and you're like, meh. I don't know. I'm kind of losing myself today. It's been a day, as you can tell, folks. Luckily, though, we had our big celebrity guest, Alex Jones, on, so that was nice.
That was nice for him to show up.
He always just seems to find the greatest way to like just pop in and tell me how awesome I am and how much you suck. It's a good time.
He does do that. And, he came at the perfect time because we were talking Heaven's Gate cult, and that sounds like something he would be into. I wonder what he was ranting about in the 90s about those people. I mean, it's probably just right. I mean, the thing is, they weren't violent or anything. They didn't really bother anybody else. They didn't. And, like, most of them, they had, like, normal jobs and stuff. They didn't bother anybody.
They had good fashion sense, too. I mean, purple jumpsuits are usually the best kind of jumpsuits to wear, in my opinion, especially since I'm a Prince fan. So I think that's a kind of thing.
Dude, the best thing, when they died, they all had black Nikes on. They were all looking sharp in black Nikes.
Yeah. How do you think Nike was that when they were like, we have to get a deal with athletic organizations now to get shit off of us?
I don't know. I really wonder how, like, somebody working at Foot Locker and they had like they had a big shipment coming in. I don't know why they all of a sudden about the same black and white Nikes, but it's kind of great because you're just like, oh man, the killed themselves. They're all lame. And then you see they all had the same black Nikes on. You're like, all right, that's neat. That's a interesting fashion choice. I mean, they're nice shoes, but it was really, let's all get $80 shoes before we off ourselves.
Yeah, well, that was the thing about like cults that I find amazing is it's like a regular religion, and this is why I don't like any religion when it comes to I'll go to like church, but I know it's all kind of bullshit. But I mean, it's one of those things where if you're a Christian out there, I'm sorry for your mental loss. If you're any other kind of religion, sorry for your mental loss.
This savage over here, this monster, Red, this, what do I want to call you? Deviant, maybe?
I am. I am definitely what you call a hardcore sinner. The world is falling apart.
The world is falling down.
I cannot imagine any better allegory for just how the world is right now than what just happened behind you.
Falling apart on me.
But no, Heaven's Gate's an interesting one, dude, because like when you look,
do this from my seat. All right.
now you look like looks like you're about to like talk about some guy that was like a quiet man and a guy who like wouldn't hurt a fly, and then all of a sudden it's like Mr. Smith shot 15 people in a crowded mall the other day. He was a quiet man. He didn't do anything. Or you're about to put a manifesto together. I don't know. You look like Marshall Applewhite right now. Just a white background behind you talking about how awesome his cult is.
Listen, this hair would not fly in the Heaven's Gate cult. You knew that. And t-shirts, man. They did button-up shirts.
Yeah.
The collar's real tight. They look like losers. That's kind of the look they went for. But they on purpose, though. They wanted to be real plain. They didn't want anyone to think they were attractive, which did not happen. They did that correctly. So, good for them. Like it was like a bummer at the end. They showed pictures of some of these, especially the ladies that were in it before, and they're like, "These are pretty ladies," and then they all look to have these like bowl cuts.
Well, it's the same. You look
at believe what you want to believe. And those people were obviously really into it, or they wouldn't have killed themselves. It wasn't. There was no force, so they were into it.
It's kind of funny.
What if they were right? We look like assholes.
See, I'm worm food theory. Like I'm just like there's nothing that happens to your like body or soul or anything. Shadow puppet hour on Bro
right,
Plus.
Right. This is how much ADD do these guys have? Here you go. This much ADD.
You just start making them kiss above you, and you're like, "Would you stop it?" Oh man, but no, with like Heaven's Gate and all those kind of cults. If you look even at like Jonestown back in the day, Jonestown was an interesting one because of the idea that these people pooled their money together and built a town in West Africa. Like that was their thing. At least with like Marshall Applewhite, he would just look into the camera like a dead-eyed psycho and like talk about how awesome he was.
And listen, no one called him Marshall, all right? Everybody called him Herf. Or actually, well, I mean, he never went by Marshall. He went by Herf in his before war times, and then eventually he was Doe.
Big Business Ray lost a lot of money on Nike stock because of Heaven's Gate. So Big Business Ray is not happy. It's actually on HBO Max, Casey. It's a documentary on the lovely like I've watched YouTube videos, like YouTube interviews with him where he's like in his own room doing all this shit, and when you're high as balls it makes a lot of sense, but then you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh yeah, that dude was a fucking psycho. All right, keep on trucking. It's weird. Like cults to me are fascinating because if you look at a cult in general, they're all kind of like broken people to begin with. Like you're never gonna, except for maybe what was the David Koresh's. He had like accountants and shit giving him money.
So did this one. They had a lot of computer programming. Like it's usually like it's usually educated people. Dude, everyone's trying to figure out like the meaning of life, and if that cult, now I understand why cults I get it, like why they're appealing. I get it. If you're looking for something and you think that's fine, it just gets weird when they start killing each other or killing other people, or if one guy says he's the only one allowed to have sex, like David Koresh, even though that's a baller move on his part. Good for him, man. That's a good scam going there. Actually, I don't think he didn't think it was. I honestly don't think he thought that was a scam. I honestly think he thought everything was true, even that part of it. And what happened at Waco should not have happened. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah, of course. I agree with you. Nobody should have died at Waco except for maybe Koresh. Koresh, like, I'm for taking.
He was going to die eventually anyway. I mean, that's how that was going to end, at least for him. But everybody else is awful. I mean, almost all of them died, right? Most of them died.
Yeah. Did you watch that Netflix? Speaking, Casey Jones did talking about Netflix. Waco, that Netflix movie, the Waco series was fucking sweet, dude. Like I liked that. Really kind of heroized Koresh a little bit, which I didn't like. I don't like got pedos and fucking like con artists getting that kind of stuff, unless it's like Oz. Oz to me is like the only place where redeeming qualities can happen in prison. Like that's it.
Right. I mean, there's that whole scene where they had to figure out what they're going to do with the one underage girl he bared a child with. Right.
Yeah.
It's he can't marry her, or wait, he's not old enough. I forget. If he was married, it'd be okay, but he can't be married to her because of how old she was, even though her parents did give permission, but there's something weird. Anyway, but for whatever reason, she had to marry another guy. So he's like, yeah, it's their kid and it's fine. I don't know. It's something weird.
Just again, I don't know, man. You look at those leaders and you're like, I'm so glad they're gone. You can't help but love the fact that like they're just dead. The only one that I kind of do am fascinated about is the one that was in, I think it was Oregon or Washington State.
Yeah, the Wild Country documentary people. Yeah. That was that's I think. Listen, it was like one lady that's fucked that thing up. She was one lady that was nuts and started poisoning people. And she's still on the run to this day. But I forget the name of their guy, their prophet,
it was
or whatever.
Something.
He wasn't really doing much, man. You know, and I think for the most part, those people they were fine. They were doing their own thing on that giant piece of land out there in Oregon. But then eventually that lady started hating on the townspeople, and it got weird. But could you imagine living in a tiny town like that in the middle of nowhere? All of a sudden that hits you. Like, what do you? I feel kind of bad for those people. I mean, it would have been fine if they just kind of kept it themselves, which is what they were doing originally. But
and I have to say about that Wild Country, I feel like they blew their load a little too early in the documentary by like showing that woman being alive. You saved that for like episode 4 or 5. Like that's when you do that kind of like reveal and then make an entire episode just about her. I think that would have been the best way to do that, where she's just walking up the stairs like she was in episode 1. And you're like, this bitch is fucking alive? Holy shit. Like that should have been talk shit about her, then make an entire episode. Do that. I feel
like people would have done that themselves though, because you could spoil shit on documentaries if you just do a little Googling, right? So for episode 1, like, I have to know, like, is this bitch alive? Google. And Google will be like, yeah, that bitch is alive. No, thanks, Google. Yeah. I try to get myself to stop doing that all the time. Like I'll be watching like true crime stuff. I'm like, did this guy get out? Did he get out? Did he get out yet? And I'm like, I'll just wait to the end of the documentary. Then I'll look it up. It's like I watched a couple years ago, the White Boy Rick movie with Matthew McConaughey came out. They filmed most of that in Cleveland. But the documentary is on Netflix now. That came out like right at the same time, maybe a year before the movie did, called White Boy. And that guy, Richard, I can't think of his name, Richard Worshey Jr. I had to look up, is he still in jail? He just got released last summer. So he's out.
Our buddy Dave Landau is from where he's at, and he knows a lot about White Boy Rick and Kwame Kilpatrick, who got pardoned by Trump, which is hilarious to me that he pardoned a fucking guy who wanted to kill the mother of his children and shit. Like what the? And then he puts White Boy Rick in jail to kind of like save his own ass. It's hilarious to me. It's funny. It really is, because it just also shows corruption in politics.
Woo! So much. That guy shouldn't have been in jail more than like 5 years at most. Yeah. At most. He should have been out. He went in at 17. He should have been out in his 20s for sure. So, but the fact that he didn't get, the system did that guy so wrong. And it's not like one of those things that he's going to get like a settlement afterwards. It's not like something like DNA came back and he was innocent. It wasn't like that at all. It just, he should have been sentenced like that. It was just a mistake made by everyone. And there's corruption. So he's not going to get any love from anybody as far as government goes. But yeah, dude, man, that guy, man, it sucks. And like no one thought he should be in jail that long, except for like 3 politicians.
Yeah. Who probably, in my opinion, looking at who they are, because we all know that there's absolutely no corruption in Detroit. Absolutely none.
There's never been any.
No. It's
clean.
Cleanest
I think I saw
city ever.
The Forbes list, the cleanest cities in Detroit was number 1. So
I was hoping you'd be like 1,000.
It was number 2, actually. Number 1 all time was Miami in the 80s. Was actually number 1 cleanest city of all time. 1980s Miami was the cleanest of all time.
But yeah, and it's because of Mayor Griselda Blanco. That's the reason that all that. Have you ever watched that movie, that documentary, Cocaine Cowboys?
Yes, but I don't remember it, so I can't talk to you about it.
I fucking love there's 2 of them. You have Cocaine Cowboys, the first one, and then the LA crack epidemic, which was just bonkers. Like, this chick was fucking paying guards so she could get laid in the lunchroom. Griselda Blanco was a savage woman. I would have loved to have hung out with her just because I'd want to like just see how psychotic this bitch was. And like, I love Cocaine Cowboys because they talk about the 1980s recession and everything that went on while Reagan was in office. And like, they showed clips of like poor people everywhere and people sleeping in the streets and shit. And then all of a sudden, like, a bunch of Miami people were like, oh yeah, we were fine. We did nothing was wrong here. We actually were in a boom time. There was more construction because of cocaine money than at any other fucking time in their like existence. And it was all because of the Medellin cartel. This is true.
Well, we got a comment. Who's this from? I don't know who it is, but he looks handsome.
Yeah, it's some fucking tool. I don't even. Why are you even putting this up here, producer? Why are you doing this? Why is this?
I already told the people while you were gone that you do all this, so that bit's not working. It's okay. I'll bail you out. I'll let you know. Anyway,
way to kill my bit, asshole.
Yeah. Well, I did before. I didn't know you were going to be doing that bit. I didn't kill the Alex Jones
I did the bit.
I didn't kill the Alex Jones bit. Yeah, we do. This person is right. We do need a new background or logo. And as far as my setup, I'm going to figure this out. I don't like that Ray has much more of a close-up than I do. But the thing is, my camera is my table is touching my knees, and my camera is right there. So I don't know how much to get it any closer.
The Fortune 500 company you run from your basement looks amazing, by the way.
Does it? Yeah.
Yeah, you look like you're on a Zoom call. And like you're just trying to show off your like books.
This is, yeah. I mean,
you should put books behind you.
This wire right here. It's not connected to anything. It was an old cable wire that we don't use.
Oh, you should.
No, I made it worse.
Yeah, you're trying to hang a dog, you son of a bitch. How dare you? What are you, Michael Vick? Fuck you. Oh, Jesus.
And this is the end, guys. On air. This is how it's going to be. You know what? Hold on. Let's not make fun of suicide. That's not.
Well,
funny.
I was also going to say, that wire, you'd probably like just fall on your ass. Knowing
it would break. It would break.
you would, no Robin Williams scenario there whatsoever.
Actually, I'm gonna fix this right now because I'm not gonna be able to look at it myself. So let me just move this thing.
Okay, buddy.
You guys can look at my butt.
Okay, it's a sexy butt. I've seen it many times. Tim Danko, always the sexy boy, trying to get his camera. This is just called tech on the fly, everybody. And I've got a bottle in front of me. I got a bunch of, I'll show you guys this. People that are watching, share, thumbs up. Tell your friends that we exist. We're fun. We try to have, we don't try and do MMA talk constantly because honestly.
Oh, shit, I forgot this was an MMA show. Fuck.
I know. We start off so smoothly with comedy and suicide or mass suicide at once with Heaven's Gate and stuff. It's a good time.
I think someday if we ever get, number one, we need normal listeners first. Once we get normal listeners, we can have a Patreon.
Well, Casey Jones is one of our normal listeners, sir.
That's one, I know. But if we get eventually, I don't want to charge people.
See what he's doing, Casey? He's saying that you mean nothing.
That's
what he is saying.
You mean the world. You mean more. You mean more than you think you do. Like a lot. A lot. The guy dreams about you. Like,
he's your sponsor.
Pretty much. Anyway, let's think. I think maybe someday if we have enough that we can think maybe we'll get a couple bucks from Patreon. I think we could just our Patreon shows would just be no MMA.
Yeah, it would just be a bullshit show,
and we'll have comics on.
Totally.
Yeah,
totally normal. This is
fine. Yeah, we're at a part in our show that we just like. We have a big crush for all of our fans right now. Well, we will always. But now we know them all
Casey,
by name.
Do you know how like I've never been on a podcast that has people watching almost the entire time. So I've never hosted one. So we're lonely bastards. Okay. I work in pest control for fuck's sake.
If you think we won't do a show for just one guy, we will.
Oh yeah. We've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Funny Stop Funny Stop Amateur Show or Amateur Contest.
Dude, I told you one of the favorite. It was before the amateur night moved to Wednesdays. One of my favorite show was a Wednesday when it was just there's more comics than an audience, and there's one table of 6, and they sat them in the middle, and like every comic went up for these 6 people, and it was one of the most fun shows I've ever done because those people were having a ball. They were a lot of fun. So and the comics sat around them, so we were just like, like, hey, who's next to come up and whatever. Like they would also be in the crowd. So we did it for comics and the 6 people. And then they all got tickets for another show. And it wasn't their fault. Like it wasn't their fault. No one else showed up. That's one of the great things. Bill Bendon is a great comic in the Cleveland area. I love Bill. I always tell him, dude, you are pros, sir. Because that guy would do the exact same show. And I've seen him do it for 300 people for 3 people. He'll do the same show. And he's always like, well, it's like good to do it, man. And he's like, I just, it's not their fault that no one else showed up, So I'm like, yeah, that's true. That's true, you guys who phoned it in. I'm not going to lie. I've done it before, and you shouldn't do it ever. I know every time that I'm like, whatever, try new stuff right now. You still got to do something. Don't be I
did a showcase last night at a bar like 2 minutes from my house. Shout out to Milton Wiley for putting that show on at Giovanni's. I hosted that show, and my favorite part about it was I'm sitting by where the front patio is, where everybody's smoking cigarettes, and you hear, and you've heard this at open mics before, Tim, just the shuffling of patio furniture as 2 dudes are trying to get into a fight.
Perfect. Those are the best kinds of shows.
It's amazing to me that and one dude was like 6'3", the other guy probably 5'4". It looked like Paul Varlins was trying to fight a midget. Yes, R.I.P. Paul Varlins. You were awesome as a person. But yeah, this kid, and then the little dude gets up, he's bleeding behind the head and goes back to the bar and drinks. It's the best.
He's bleeding and he goes, fantastic.
Yeah. And he was talking about what's that and he was like, he was a ghetto white dude, that just punchable little white dude that talks way too much shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just
I know who you're talking about. I've seen many of them. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. We're getting it, although with COVID, it's pretty much been like this for over a year, but usually when weather gets warm, we start getting into wacky season.
Yeah.
Like this for comedy, this is not a good time for comedy. The clubs don't do as well. It's because it's nice out. People don't want to go in, but the shows we do, sometimes they're outside, which again, with COVID, it's been happening a lot more anyway.
Yeah.
And it's just who are going to come to these shows. Maybe some of these people don't want to be there. So it's always a weird time for comedy. If you get any good shows in the summer, it's a big win. We'll see. Hopefully we get some. That bar right by me, I got to get them to do something.
Was that the one that we did a couple years ago with Jerry Jaffe and Brian Kenny?
No.
Oh, okay.
That one was awful.
That was actually one of my favorite shows. I'm not gonna lie.
Had fun. We had tons of fun. But I told Brian to do 40. He's like, "You want to make me do 40?" I'm like, "Do 40," and he did all his time. He did it.
He did like a pro.
A pro. He was great. He made me laugh. I'm like, I asked you to come down here because you make me laugh. I'm like, that's why. I'm like, they're paying you for me to see you, right? But I found out there's a room upstairs. There's a wine room upstairs they never use. I just haven't been there in a year since the pandemic. I haven't been there in a year, so maybe someday I'll go back and try to get something going there. I know they're not super happy with the money. Actually, you know what? True story. I lost my check and never cashed it. No, it was a bummer. I know. It was like
now you make me feel bad because you paid me $20 when you weren't going to pay me. Now you lost your check.
I know. I never found it. It was $150. That sucks. Comedy is great, sir. Yeah, it is. I need to get back. You said something last episode about me only doing it sometimes, and I'm like, oh, he's right. I have only been doing it sometimes. Damn it. Because I like to do it.
I've been out in the trenches.
It's just, I know you have. And it's just so far from me, man. So much driving in a car that I don't trust. So I'm trying to find a new car. I've been looking for a new car for a while. I just haven't found anything yet. Although I almost bought one, but then it's a weird story. It's not interesting enough to tell on this. It was like I was gonna go to Columbus to get it, and then we needed someone to watch my brother's kid, and it didn't work out. So the car's gone now. So anyway, it was an Altima. I wanted to buy that Altima anyway because I like little cars. I'm a big guy who likes little cars. That's my thing. Not like smart cars. That would work. But actually,
I would love
for the driver.
I would pay to see you in a smart car.
Yeah.
I would pay money to rent you a smart car so you would shovel in like 17 clowns and just ride around in that thing and wonder if the undercarriage will scrape after you get in. That's what
Come on, man. Listen, number one, that thing's a 2-seater, okay? And most normal, especially men, 2 men in that car weigh more than me, okay? 2 average men weigh more than me. So no, it's not going to scrape.
There's a funny story. I hate these people. They're my family, so I can kind of talk about them. I'm blood related to these fucking douchebags. I have two my uncle who's married to my legit like biological aunt is a baker and like a fat fuck, right? He's just a piece of garbage. He's a fucking asshole. And his kid's even more of an asshole who has 6 toes, which is God got you back. God got my fucking aunt for fucking shit she did. And my favorite.
What? He's just born with 6 toes on 1 foot.
Yeah.
All right. Did he win one in a poker game?
What?
Never mind. Keep it going.
To be honest with you, I would turn him into the fucking guys from Tales from the Crypt and meet like I would kind of hope he would cut off that other toe, but he doesn't apparently. But they're 2 fat fucks, right? So my dad,
you might need that extra toe to like if you're really big, like if you're much bigger than me, you're gonna start needing an extra toe to balance yourself. I think that's why they make those wide shoes.
Oh, God definitely gave him that as a load-bearing structure. I mean,
it works out.
And what makes me giggle though is my dad, when he was alive, knew that like my uncle's like mom died or something, and like went to the cemetery area on his while he was working, and he saw them get into their car, and the car actually was scraping against the fucking road because they were so fat. These dudes are like probably 400 or 500 pounds. They're and just dumb fat fucks. And it's hilarious to me that like the back end, like the muffler was scraping along the fucking street. How fat do you have to be?
Dude, I don't know, because I'm afraid that someday I'll get there.
No, I wouldn't let you. I love you too much.
You wouldn't let me? Like, what would you do to stop me? Like, what?
I would come down with my lovely kettlebells I just got in the mail and make you just like do that shit for hours.
Dude, Ray, I think you seem like the guy that if you were in captivity for let's say like 2 weeks, when you came out, you would go to the buffet every single day for every meal and eat as much as possible for like 3 weeks. Yes, I say that. I guess what you're doing with money right now. You're just loading up on shit that you haven't been able to buy. You're just like this. Ray and I bought baseball tickets for June to see the Indians and the Pirates, which I'm very excited for, super excited for. However, we overpaid for sure.
Yeah, we definitely did, but I haven't been to a baseball game in a long time.
So we were like, fine, forget it. We'll just do it. They're good seats. Everywhere's behind the net now. That's not in the outfield, but. So that's the thing, but they're good seats. I haven't been to that park. I'm very excited. The Indians and Pirates are both terrible. We paid that much money for tickets for the 2 lowest payroll teams in baseball.
Yeah.
The Indians beat you now. They're number 30.
And
they're playing right now. Let me check the score.
I think the Pirates are losing. I even texted you when we won the first game of the season. I was like, oh my God, the Pirates won. I can't wait for their other 4 this year to happen. Hopefully one of them's against the Indians when we go June 20th.
We're up 3-0 in the bottom of the 3rd inning against Detroit.
Oh, nice. And we were just talking about White Boy Rick, so it's perfect. It's a nice little center back, if you will.
Right. And I'm
we're like Jen Psaki. We're just going to circle back to it.
I'm going to, you know, it's fun. Like I bought club seats to the Indians Yankees game, and I still paid more for the tickets that we got in PNC because we didn't want to wait for them to go on normal sale. We bought it from season ticket holders, and we paid way too much for them. But it's okay. I have no regrets right now. I only have regrets if it rains. Although if it rains, I'll be back the next day to go to that game. I mean, I know you work, but I'm gonna go. Like, I'm gonna try to go.
I'll gladly give up that ticket just because I need money right now. But
I won't be able to find anybody to go. No way.
You might. Who knows?
No, man. No, I don't. Dude, listen. I go to baseball games with the people I know that will go to baseball games.
Yeah.
So, you know, I used to have this good deal. I did this once years ago with our good friend who we talked about the other day, Sean Boyd, comedian Sean Boyd, very funny. Sean Boyd, SB. Be blessed, Sean Boyd. I did a thing that I met him in Cuyahoga Falls, where he was living, I think, at the time. And I bought our ticket to the Cavs game, but he drove. He did all the driving. He paid for parking. He bought me a beer or something. We did that. That was the deal. I'm like, dude, I'm going to get sloshed, so you drive. So that was, and I did that before with my buddy who used to live down here. He lives in Michigan now, but I did it at Indians game, and I fell asleep the whole way home. I mean, that was a great deal. I love doing that. I'm like, yes, I will pay $50 for you to do this. You pay for parking and you drive, so I don't have to. Awesome. My other buddy didn't even drink because he was driving, so he was responsible about it, which is good. So I just got slush, and that's the way to do it, man. That's why when I go with my brother, we stay. There's a nice hotel right there. I forget what it's called. Then we go to the casino, and this is fun. We're purging now because all week we were supposed to have one episode this week where we didn't have a whole lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So we were going to do what we're doing now. Even though we have MMA to talk about today, we haven't got to it yet. We'll get to it.
Yeah, we will get to our MMA talk in a little bit. But
there's a lot. The Bellator card's happening right now. It just started.
Okay, and also real quick shout out to I don't know, I think she's a college athlete now, but Frank Mir's daughter won like a national championship in wrestling couple days, either a day or two ago, and he posted it on his Facebook, and she looks like a beast. Like she is a monstrous woman in the most positive way possible.
She's 8. No, she's not even. It might have been high school, bro. I think she's like 17. I'm not sure. She's not.
No, but even if it's 17, I mean, that's not that weird. But like she. I'm talking about like her muscle.
No, I saw her fight. I saw her last fight. Yeah.
I wish I had the shoulders this girl does. She's jacked, dude.
Yeah. And if you look at her, like there's any doubt at all whose daughter that is, she looks exactly like her father. I mean, it's a little, tiny pint version of her father, but she looks just like her dad.
If she has,
and she's a tank. She's proud. I guarantee she'll be in the UFC eventually.
I would hope,
or some organization. She'll make her choice, but
she's already 1-0 in MMA. She fought.
She's 2-0. I saw her.
That's right.
Yeah, I saw her last one. They fought in I think it was like a hotel in Mexico, like a ballroom. Like it was a really shady setup. There's no fans, but I saw it on Fight Pass. Anyway, the ONE FC card happened Wednesday. Dude, that's a fun organization. It really is.
Yeah.
It didn't. This is their first card in the U.S. on like this ish prime time. I think it started at like 10, which is a little late on a Wednesday. But Eddie Alvarez fight happened, and it was a bummer. That did not go the way they wanted it to. At least the Eddie Alvarez fight. The Demetrius Johnson fight against Moraes. This kid Moraes, dude, this kid's a beast.
I watched the highlights of it. He's an animal, dude. Yeah, that Moraes kid has a future in this sport.
Yeah. At first, my thought was, I'm trying to look at this guy's actual name. First name. So I gotta pull.
Isn't it like Anderson or something like that?
I'm gonna find it now in like 8 seconds. Give me 8 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5. Adriano. Got it. Race. This guy. Now I don't know what TNT or ONE wanted for what the best possible outcome for them on national TV in America would be. However, I mean, maybe you think, man, it's maybe, Demetrius Johnson's a U.S. guy. He's one of the best. He really is. I mean, if you say he's the best ever, you'd be like, yeah, it's not too hard to argue. I mean, right? He's pretty great, right? It's not too, I mean, you could say somebody else like John Jones or, could be, but he's on the list for sure, right? So Demetrius Johnson, gets knocked out by this dude. Which and a move that's not legal in the UFC, but it is legal in one. First he got uppercutted, and then he got dropped. That is legal in the UFC. Then he got kneed on the ground and got knocked the fuck out. This Moraes kid is awesome. So now, like, man, it might be good. Like you're saying, hey, dude, this is a guy who reigned supreme in the flyweight division in the UFC for a long time, and this guy is the first guy to ever finish him. He's lost 3 decisions, but it's never been finished. And this guy gets finished, right, by this kid Moraes. This young kid from Brazil. Like, dude, maybe listen, the other day I said I think the best fighter outside of the UFC is Patricio Pitbull, and I still think that's true. But this kid, Moraes, obviously, if you do that to Demetrius Johnson, you're special. Mm-hmm. So this kid is a monster, and I don't know if there's anybody who's going to beat him over there. I don't know. Like already, I'm like, get this kid to the UFC. I want to see him fight Figueiredo, like today, But probably won't happen anytime soon, unless they do another weird trade like they did for Ben Askren and Mighty Mouse. Which worked out for TNT. I won a lot more than the UFC, I guess. No, I like Ben Askren, but he didn't do too much. Yeah, there's that. And the Eddie Alvarez fight. Did you see the Eddie Alvarez fight?
I did not, but let's talk because I have opinions on Eddie Alvarez as a fighter now compared to what he was back then. So give me the details.
Did you watch the fight? Because he was going through this guy.
Okay.
He was kicking this guy's ass, and this was a really tough dude who's only lost to their champion.
Okay.
Dude, every Alvarez was beating this dude up, but the ref said there was an illegal blow to the back of the head when he got knocked out, so they DQ'd him. Man, for this, I really have to look at the rules by word. I have to look at the one rules.
And I'll pull what I was going to say off the table right now before the cards are dealt. Because if it was a DQ, I mean, if for an illegal back of the head, we've had so many of those in MMA in the past year.
Though, it was a weird one because I don't like. He moved his head. Like he moved it on purpose. He moved his head. The guy moved his head, and then he hit him once, and then he was going to knock him out anyway. I don't know how many refs would have DQ'd him for that. I think a lot of refs maybe would have let that go. I think he won the fight, honestly. But it's weird. It's a gray line. The rep's just trying to do what he thinks is right. I never saw this rep before. I don't know him. I mean, they were in Singapore. Could be. But
what was the nationality of the guy that he was fighting?
Move his head. I think he moved his head. Right? He did one of these. We should have got the video. Should have found the video if we could. I think he moved his head. He was here getting hit, and he did one of these. So when the punch was coming, so he gets hit in the back of the head. That's playing the game. That's playing the game.
Well, what was the nationality of the gentleman that won the fight via DQ?
White. I think he was white, but I don't know where he was from. He looked white.
Okay. If he was a white dude, never mind. Because I
from anywhere. What? Really? You're gonna go racist on me? You're gonna say that?
I mean. You want to talk about fucking favoritism
from I forget where he's from.
Quentin Rampage Jackson, when he was on Opie and Anthony, I was actually listening to this clip recently. Was talking about the referees in Pride and how they would have their favorites and all that kind of stuff, and like
was shady.
Yeah, well, one is also probably shady as well. You never know who are the backers of that is my question too.
One? Oh, I'm sure they have legitimate backers now, but for the most part. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, because if you don't know, the whole Pride thing is that they were backed by the Yakuza, which is why they had such great shows, right? Everybody got paid in envelopes of cash, American cash in Japan, which was interesting. What else? Oh, Lenny Hart, who we were supposed to have on the show, and she stood us up, which I don't blame her. I think what happened was we got a hold of her manager, and they set it up. And then when the interview came to happen, she just didn't show up, didn't log on.
She no-showed us.
But I think what happened was they just didn't look up our podcast until like the last minute and see that we weren't very big at all. So like, why are we even doing this, right? And so they didn't. She ended up not doing it, and then there was like a weird excuse from. Sorry, I got from the manager. We got her schedule messed up, and she's not going to be available for like a year now, right? So we knew what happened. It was fine. We don't get it. I mean, at first we were like, we knew that was going to happen if they looked us up. Like we didn't lie to them at all. Didn't ask us those questions. We want to answer the questions. We just asked her she come on our podcast, and they said yes. So anyway, Lenny Hart, AKA Crazy Pride Lady. She's working with Juan now too, and she was doing her thing. She wasn't going too nuts though. She was kind of reserved, didn't roll her tongue or anything nuts. At least I think that was her. I mean, I looked it up and it said it was. So
she did the Grand Prix when that happened, when they had that like kickboxing and MMA Grand Prix show that they did a couple of years back that Demetrius won. But yeah, man, I like when I heard her on one when I watched it back then. I was like, cool. She's still doing MMA. I'm like, because I'm a fan. I love her. She's probably one of my favorite ring announcers of all time.
That's why we wanted to have her on, right?
Yeah, so
it's okay.
We'll try again.
Don't blame her. Yeah, for sure.
We'll try again, possibly on StreamYard. We may make that a Patreon. I think that would be kind of a fun thing. That would be like a good Patreon thing to do. I'm also contemplating putting the Pat Miletich episode on Patreon for a little while.
Already on.
What?
We're not getting normal listeners right now, man.
This is true.
And then we have to do something every month, and we don't have any ideas. We have some ideas, but I don't know if they're worth it. They're not worth it. Not yet. We'll think of something, man. Maybe we'll do. I don't know. Listen, we say it all the time. We don't know what the show is yet. We haven't figured it out. Listen, the only reason we're leading into live streams now is because we started doing it for a little bit, and then the MMA holes picked us up. Shout out to them again. And that's
MMA holes.
We're going to keep doing live streams because they picked us up. So before then, I'm like, I could take it or leave it. I was actually kind of like against doing live streams for a while, but I'm fine with it now. The interviews though, those are like, we had Isaiah on, Watkins on, who was awesome. If you didn't see that episode, check it out. Isaiah was great. I love that kid. I want to have him on all the time now.
Yes.
I want to have him on for movie reviews. He's really fun. And he said that's his first podcast. I'm like, dude, some league's gonna love you, man. If you do your stuff and able to become a good pro, they're gonna love you. So
Gene Walker could turn that kid into a fucking lunatic. I think that would be a great person for Gene to be, because he's a comic too, so he could write him lines at press conferences.
I don't think he needs them. He needs lines. He can got his own, man. I love that kid's great. He has great personality, and he's a really tough fighter. He's fighting our buddy Brogan Enders Saturday. It's tomorrow. You know what? I might have to buy that. Yeah, since the UFC card is at 3, I might buy that. It's $30 though, man.
Yeah, I mean, the organization's got to make money, dude.
I know that. I'm not blaming them for the price. I'm just saying, I don't know if I'm going to be. That's a good idea for me to try to swing that. Especially the only fight I really want to. I watch them all, but if I pay for them. But the only one I really want to see is Brogan and Isaiah. Who you got in that one? Let's say our buddies Brogan and Isaiah.
Both guys are pretty sound fighters in their own right. But I'm definitely, because of the fact that I got to talk T-Pain with somebody finally on this podcast, I'm picking my new homeboy Isaiah Watkins. Yes, I think he's gonna. I'm gonna make Brogan work for it. I think decision will, and Isaiah Watkins is gonna get the decision on that one.
Man, I think if it goes to the scorecards, I don't think there's any chance that Isaiah will win the fight on the scorecards. I think he'll have to knock Brogan out because Brogan gets on the ground. He's going to outclass him there almost.
Well, yeah.
And the thing is, he's like 6'1", 6'2", and Isaiah's 5'8". So if Isaiah has to get inside to hit him, and also if he's close enough to hit Brogan, he's close enough for Brogan to throw him or take him down with his wrestling. And that's where Brogan wants it to happen. So if Brogan's able to get him down, he has been stopped before. Like this kid can knock him out. He has great pop. Yeah. For sure. But if Brogan's able to get him down, which I think he will be, I think he's going to probably grind this out for a decision. So, or maybe he'll sub him. He's been subbed a couple of times before too. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to pick Brogan, which breaks my heart because I like them both. But it's an amateur fight, so I don't feel that bad about it, right?
No.
It doesn't matter either way. They're going to learn something from it someday. Maybe they'll fight again as professionals someday. I don't know. I forgot to ask Isaiah if he was planning on staying at welterweight as an amateur, because you get an extra day, I believe, to weigh in as a pro. I think most states you have to weigh in same day. I don't know. I mean, I could text those guys right now. I'm sure they're in Indiana right now. They're in Kokomo, Indiana, waiting for that fight. I'm sure they're there already. So
wait. They're where?
Kokomo, Indiana.
Not Indianapolis. Why is this fight not in Indianapolis?
Well, I don't know. It's in Kokomo, Indiana. I don't know.
It's not in Bermuda, Bahama.
No,
Come on, pretty mama.
it's
Come on, pretty mama. Kentucky is actually a pretty cool town. The University of Kentucky is like 2 miles up the road from this
I hate you.
podunk area, man.
I hate you. Dude,
They got a lot of barn parties.
I would move to Come On Pretty Mama, Kentucky.
It's right next to Truth or Consequences. I think that's always, and Parts Unknown. Parts Unknown's a very mysterious place.
Yeah, that's where Jason Mayhem Miller's from.
I know.
Parts Unknown,
I wish there were like fighters that could do that kind, like had the balls to do that shit, where it'd be like they just make up their own like where they're from. Like the dark
Jason
side.
Miller did that, didn't he? Didn't he actually say Parts Unknown?
Parts Unknown. Yeah, that's why if you go back to EA MMA, Parts Unknown is actually a place you can like go to like be from. It's like Barberton for UFC 4 or UFC games.
Yeah, how come you can be from Barberton but you can't be from Yorksville? Bunch of bullshit.
Because Yorksville, even Cody Garbrandt doesn't want to be from Yorksville.
922, bro. 922. He has a 922 tattoo, I believe. I think he does.
Yeah, he does have his zip code. I need to find.
It's not a zip code. It's the
or the.
It's not the area code either. What's the second number? Like it's 330 here. Then it's 922. Is the Yorksville numbers?
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what the 922 is.
When I used to go down there with the ex-girlfriend, it's like I gotta get out of here. This feels just oppressive. Like every part of it's like what Kyle Kinane talks about, where he talks about like white people oppression, which is where like white people oppression is, well, we can go to Denny's and order fries and nobody will kick us out if we keep ordering coffee, and holy shit, I'm 35. Like that's the kind of city where you work at like a brick factory where you like put bricks in kilns all day. I feel like that's the kind of place that Yorksville and Dover are. You basically never leave. I don't like that.
Whatever, man.
T County.
Whatever. Tuscarawas County's a shit. You just say what you want.
Oh, they make great wines. I like the wineries down there.
Again, like it's not advantageous for me to be here right now for the things I want to do, but I'm glad I grew up here. It's a nice place, and my brother lives here with his kids, and that's a good place for them to grow up too. And again, it's where Cody Garbrandt, former world champion and future world champion, if I have to say so myself, someday he'll get there. You got to beat Rob Font first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really exciting. I'm excited for that. Talk about we got to plant those seeds. Like someday, Hope Isaiah, if he goes pro, he gets on with a big organization, he'll come on our show, right?
Yes.
Now I knew Cody Garbrandt when he was an amateur, and that didn't help me out at all. But that's okay. Been trying to get a hold of him, hasn't worked yet. So it's okay.
It's in the multitude of other podcast requests that probably get sent to him on Instagram.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's why I said the best way for us to go through it is through the people that we know here.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't want to bother the guy, right? It'd be doing us a big favor, and also it's not really helping him too much, right? So I get it. And I mean, I've said all the time, I don't pretend I know him a lot, but we knew each other. He knew who I was. He knew my name. when he lived down here, right? But I haven't seen him since it's been a while. It's like right after his like first or second UFC fight, he was around and I saw him. That's it. So I spent a long time.
I also have to say, as a side note, his manager, Ali or whatever the fuck his name is, I am sorry for the tweets that I made while he was fighting TJ. I was on TJ's side until the steroid thing came out. I don't know. It was one of those things. He had somewhere in this house, I have a Tuscarawas County newspaper with him, his brother, and his two brothers, and it's like Cody with bald head. And they're talking about the Garbrandt family being like awesome wrestlers and stuff.
Well, they were. Cody was a state champion as a freshman at Claymont, and then he got kicked out of Claymont High School for fighting.
Nice.
Ironically, yeah. I think, and I don't know for sure. I don't know if he graduated on the internet. I think he may have actually graduated from Philly. which is where I went. But I'm not sure. I think he may have, but he did online, or maybe he got a GED online. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's not really important. The only thing is, if I said we graduated from the same high school as Cody Garbrandt, it sounds weird. Like, yes, he's a town next to my town. They're both very small. All this, if you want anything from his town, you have to go to my town to get it. The Walmart's in my town.
The only real like anybody from my school within the last like 20 years, one was actually a Navy football player that I played hockey with. Shout out to Brady DeMel. Love that dude still to this day. He's an awesome guy. But also Mitch Trubisky came from my high school.
Mitch Trubisky started a playoff game.
I know. I'm proud of that kid. I'm very proud of that kid.
You see the news that Hugh Jackson came out recently on a podcast or something. He said that the Browns were really a lot of them were pushing about they wanted to draft Trubisky with number 1 pick instead of Myles Garrett. That's what he's saying. Luckily, that didn't happen.
Well, yeah, I honestly think
the Bears had to trade up to get him, right? So,
yeah, I think honestly that would have been, especially he's not well liked in Menor either. Like,
what's really?
Yeah, you get see Menor. Here's the thing about
just real quick. If there was an NFL player from New Philly, he'd be a god here.
Yeah, Menor's not that way. Menor is like rich, erudite, fucking white people who, like, if there's one monochrome of success higher than their kids, it's evil. It's the weirdest thing. Like up, like the suburbs of Cleveland, it's this weird, almost like hierarchy at times with like sports up here because there's so much importance in Cleveland for sport athletics, especially football.
Well, the whole state. Like, football is like that with the whole state. But this is weird to me that they turn their nose to that guy. He's an NFL quarterback who came from your school, dude. C. Grant is a god in New Philadelphia, and he never played a down in the regular season in the NFL. He was drafted by the Saints, but then he was hurt and never played. But he played for Ohio State, and dude, you see that guy now? He's like a local celebrity. He's also the cousin of my mother's boyfriend, which is another thing.
That's pretty sweet. That's actually pretty sweet. But no,
I never talked to him though. I don't even know where he lives. But anyway, when he comes around, it's like she's here. Yeah.
This the actual like I don't know. It's weird. Like where I grew up was very political, and I hate that. Like I'm not. I just fucking play and everybody get along. But you always have those like parents who my kid should be playing more time and all that kind of stuff. And once like Mitch was a great quarterback for Menor. He was
obviously.
I mean, he wasn't no Bart Tansky, but who can be Bart Tansky? Mr. Football, all that kind of, or Mr. Ohio, he was one year.
And he went down to North Carolina and played with Butch Davis, correct?
Yeah.
Former Browns coach, Butch Davis.
It's weird to me that like people just hold that kind of grudge bullshit against people for sports. Like it's just I don't get that, man. Like the kid's playing in a fucking football game, an NFL game, starting in a playoff game. We should all like every TV should have been tuned to fucking see that kid, lose, but make it a good game. I thought it was a very good game when Mitch played.
Bro, that game was on Nickelodeon, man. Did you watch it on Nickelodeon?
No, I watched it on CBS All Access at the time before it became Paramount Plus.
I was switching back and forth just to see what was going on with Nickelodeon. It was fun. It was fun what they were doing. They did a cool like splash, like slime end zone graphic when they score a touchdown. It's pretty neat.
I think that should be for the UFC. The UFC should do a Nickelodeon show.
Card. I like it. It's a good idea. Hey, you know what? Maybe listen. They're doing UFC on ABC2 tomorrow, so maybe UFC on Disney with the next thing. Right? Disney Plus pay-per-view, right? Main event is a guy in a goofy suit versus a guy in a Mickey suit. How great would that be? Like actually, like purses on the line, right? Both mascot suits. That'd be amazing. I want to see Slider versus the Philly Fanatic if there's a mascot fight. That's what I want to see.
See who would win in that though. Slider, the underdog. They're both built the same.
Yeah, I know. I think Slider would be the underdog. right? Because he's on camera being injured. I mean, it was many years ago, but he was on camera falling off the wall in right field and onto the field. You remember that? Poor Slider. They had to pull him into the bullpen.
And I will say that the guy that plays him, kind of a
woman.
douchebag, but like the fact that he
usually
got
multiple people, isn't it?
There's a couple guys. There's like one guy that always has like kind of played Slider ever since he was like a young kid. Like I think there's one guy that's played Slider.
All right.
Either that or he retired, because I met the guy when I worked for the Monsters.
Professional mascots make like 6 figures.
I know.
Yeah, for real. They really do. Now, Slider doesn't do any acrobatic stuff or anything like that. So I don't know if Slider makes the same kind of dough. Because some of those mascots do. They do dunks off trampolines and shit. Slider doesn't. Slider falls off the wall. That's Slider's thing, and gives people hugs. I love Slider to death. I love him. I will fight anyone who tries to get rid of Slider, because that makes 0 sense at all. I mean, I understand that getting rid of the name Indians is fine. It's going to happen. I get it. It's the right thing to do, although I'm not excited about it, but I know it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to miss it.
I'm just glad the protests will end.
Do you think they will? You told me the thing that they were protesting on opening day, the Native American.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Some people. Yeah.
It didn't surprise me.
No, it didn't either. I'm like, number one, I wonder if they heard the news, right?
They did.
They already won. And even if they did, I'm like, I bet I think things are going to be rough for him this year, because there's going to be some drunk white rednecks that are going to go back at him. Like, you took it away from us. I guarantee you that happened. Have you
seen the protests on opening day? They're always that way.
Yeah. It'd be like, well, now they really, did a fight break out between a white redneck person and
no, but there's always like a couple drunk dickheads that are like yelling at him, throwing stuff at him.
That's not nice.
Tell them to go fuck themselves. I remember those people back in the 90s when I used to go to opening day every year.
They only ever go to opening day.
Yeah.
Only ever their opening day.
It's weird. And I question some of the legitimacy of some of the leaders, because they look pretty white. They're like the we're 4%ers kind of thing.
This is not real. I mean, the thing is,
there's some legitimate Native Americans that do protest that thing, but like the leaders are always, for some reason, too white to be protesting for me.
The argument, the thing is, they're right. They're on the right side of it. They really are.
Absolutely.
So really, you can't really say much about it, no matter who it is, because the thing is, even if they are completely white, they're on the right side of the argument. So.
Are they though? I think so. That's kind of.
I think so. Yeah, I mean it is. Like I said before, like if you have a dog that's biting someone, right? It doesn't bite everyone, but it bites like 1 or 2 people, and it definitely doesn't bite you. You have to get rid of that dog probably, because you don't want a dog that bites anyone, even though it doesn't bite you personally, and it doesn't bite most people, but it's biting someone. So you have to get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like this is about that mascot. It is offending some people.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying that
you don't
want
that. You don't need to have that. And I just really hope that the biggest thing is I hope people don't pretend like it's a new thing. Like, listen, they're going to be they're exact same teams they were the year before. They just have a different nickname. Yeah. They're still the Cleveland baseball franchise. Don't say, ever since they changed this name. Don't pretend like it's they're not a different thing. They're the exact same thing. They just have a different name, but they're exact same ball club. It's a different name. That's it. That's nothing. That's nothing. It's trivial, basically, compared to everything else. Don't pretend like that's going to make me mad. Like, well, since they're this, back with the Indians, this record, and they're the same damn club. That works. And then, what was I going to say? And besides that, I mean, I don't like the spiders, but I'll take it. It's fine. After that, I just don't want whatever it is. It's fine.
If they're the spiders, I have a bunch of gear I have to buy now. Because I will buy spider gear. Because I think that'd be kind of fun. That's a cool name. Plus, I'm in pest control, so it feels like.
Well, I don't like spiders.
But yeah, because you're a pussy. But that's
pussy. Yeah. Also, yeah, I don't. Now, listen. If they do that and they change the netting around the field to look like a spider web, that'd be okay too.
Only in October, though. I think that should be only in October.
Not when your name's the spiders. Not when your name's the spiders. Be old. Every day's Halloween when your name's the spiders.
They changed to Brown's colors because it's basically Halloween colors anyway.
They change the colors, it's going to be a problem, but I don't think they're going to. I don't think that's even on the table.
I could definitely see them changing at least to like maybe gray, red, and like black. I think that would be kind of cool. Make it like a Black Widow spider. That'd be kind of dope.
No, I like the colors, navy blue and red. I like them.
What kind of spider? What kind of spider do you think they should put on the logo? Is my question.
Okay, well, number one, they'll probably stay with the C for a long time, but they probably wouldn't even change the logo, just the name, because they want to ease people into it. But as a spider logo, if they have some sort of secondary spider logo, there's what I think they should have and what they probably will have. What they probably will have is like what they did with the dog pound in Cleveland. They made the dog look much more pettable. That logo and the dog logo and the brown. It used to be a vicious looking dog. Now it looks like a nice dog, right? They want to make it family friendly. So I think it's going to be a really goofy, like very minor league looking spider that looks like it'd be everyone's friend. But what I want it to be is the nastiest spider you can imagine with giant fangs or whatever. And I don't know, maybe a machine gun on his back. I don't know. Something like that. It's got an AR-15. That's the tarantula that I want. It's a nasty tarantula with big fangs and an AR-15 and a Make America Great Again hat. That's the spider that I want. It's the spider that I want. You know what I've realized about baseball? Most of the people that I know that agree with me on things about baseball, we don't agree on things politically because I think my thoughts on baseball and what should be done is a very make baseball great again like take. Like that's
that it is
about baseball. Like I don't want anything to change. And I think the things that have changed lately that need to change back. But those people usually think the same thing about the country, right? So a lot of people that I'm like, yeah, this guy's a good point about Rob Manfred, then has something about Biden or QAnon, and I'm like, okay, we don't agree on that. The baseball thing we agree on, but not the other shit. I'm gonna need.
So what you're saying is POCs should not be in baseball. You want it to be that far back in the past where POCs are not allowed in. I get where you're going with this, Mr. 50s baseball.
That's not what I'm saying. Not that far back, man. You monster. Don't even mention that. Don't say that. Not that far back. I'm talking about get rid of this damn 3-batter rule and the pitch clocks and actually those are okay. But like the stupid extra inning rule and all that dumb shit. Get rid of that. I hate all that. That's dumb.
I like the second base runner and the
stupid. Baseball's been going on for 200 years. Fine. And you have
oh, big business Tim over here trying to fucking
baseball. I need to make
baseball Tim.
Ray, give me a make baseball great again hat, and I'll wear it. It's a red hat, and you have to look at it and say it says baseball. And I got shit thrown at me, I'm sure, but
see, that would be the dick. Have you give you two hats? One will say keep baseball or make baseball white again, just to be
no. Stop it. It's not even funny.
That Satchel Paige didn't belong. That's what Tim's saying.
That's not at all what I'm saying. That's not even funny, man. I spent a lot of time at the Negro League wing at the baseball museum, and it was a great wing, and it wasn't nearly big enough. That's one thing. It wasn't very big. It was like a little. Wow. There's actually, I think the Hank Aaron thing was actually more than the Negro League wing. There's a lot of Hank Aaron stuff, and he just died. I don't know if it was like that before or not. I think they probably put that on recently.
You know what makes me laugh? And we don't get political on this show at all.
You can talk about Atlanta.
Well, I'm not going to talk about the voter thing because honestly, people have their opinions, whatever on that. I love the fact that they took the Major League Baseball All-Star game from a primarily dominant African-American demographic to probably, and this is me. I've lived in and around the Cleveland area for most of my life. It's a very diverse area. East Cleveland is what East Cleveland is. But like they took from a predominantly black city with a black demographic that's higher than most other minority groups and also white people, and put it in the most lily white fucking city I have ever set foot in. How the fuck do you put it in Denver where it's like 75% white and crow about racism? You're not winning the argument. You're not winning that argument.
I also I don't trust the people that posted this on Facebook. It's the same people I was just
And
talking about.
how
They
about
said
this for a weird fuck?
No,
Sorry,
here we go.
but how about this
Go
for
ahead.
a weird thing? Utah, one of the whitest cities in the country, or states in the country, has the best basketball team in the fucking in National Basketball Association. The irony of that.
The Jazz are killing it, right?
Yeah, they're fucking great this year, dude. They're actually they're they're getting a lot of coverage on like basketball shows and stuff like that. But still, you crow about and throw the MLB All-Star game in the whitest city possible. Like Salt Lake City is probably the second whitest city in America.
Still ballpark in Salt Lake City, though. I don't know. Some of those people were saying that the voter laws in Colorado are worse than the ones they just passed in Georgia, but I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just saying
I don't know either.
What some of the crazies were posting on my Facebook timeline. It's defeat the Suns and the Jazz have great teams this year, and the Nuggets too. And I mean, of course, when it comes playoff time, playoff LeBron if he's not hurt. I don't know how hurt he is. I don't know. I haven't. The Cavs have been garbage, so I've only watched a handful of games.
Space Jam sequel. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true. You know what? I saw the trailer, and I already told you, no matter what, I'm gonna watch it. So maybe it'll be okay. I don't expect it to be great. I expect it to be disappointing, 100% disappointing. But maybe not 100%. You know, maybe mostly disappointing. I don't know, man. We having fun yet? This lighting, I don't like this lighting. Fucking white people.
Really you actually look good. You look better than me. I've got like a reticle on like a laser scope. Like somebody's trying to take me out. I think because I'm too close to Alex Jones.
That's what it is. Yeah, because he said he likes you so much. You're gonna take him. They gave me these, right? I can put on my light. So if you want me to go, we do Roxanne put on the red light. You want me to do that? I can do that.
Danko, put on the red light.
Danko. Yeah, I like it. It's good. We might do that. I could do that. Like anytime we have a conspiracy theory episode, I'm going to put this red filter on.
No, you should put the blue one on because they always have, for some reason, in conspiracy documentaries, a nice little blue hue on everything, and I think it just softens the mood to kind of get you. We important black guys. With important black guys and French centers. That's kind of, for some reason, like international basketball is kind of having a renaissance with some of their players, and I like it. I like the fact that the sport. What other colors do you have, buddy?
I have red and yellow and green. No, wait, hold on. No, that's not green. That's just yellow and blue together. So I can make a green, but I have blue and yellow.
I think that should be your gimmick. I was going to come up with a gimmick for my fucking setup upstairs until I had to move into the fucking black box of doom, which don't get me wrong. I like it here. It's kind of quiet. I
like the curtain. I should have just got a normal curtain. I thought about that, but now, I don't know, man. I give up on the tapestry for now. Maybe I'll just move it into my bedroom because it's a nice thing. I'm going to put it somewhere.
When you were talking about Amazon earlier, I actually bought this and those lights that I have. Usually there's a light over here, but I didn't want to bring it down for the show today. But they're like photography light, like lamps. They're huge. They're fucking massive. And I've got like, I think a three light setup that I can do in certain rooms. When we first started doing this podcast, that's actually what I used. For our video episodes when we were doing it on Zoom, was I would do a 3 light setup in a friend of mine's attic, and it was fucking hot. I was sweating my dick off every time I was up there. I bought off of Amazon, and I do feel guilty about buying shit from Amazon.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. But like I said, as a customer, it's fantastic, right?
Yeah.
But every time you hear a story, you're like, man, am I a bad person? And the answer is yes. Yes, you are. You're a terrible person. Go get it yourself. Go to the store and get it yourself, you dick. Go. For me, I'd have to drive like half an hour to go to a Best Buy.
Yeah.
So, but about these lights off Amazon and about my camera off Amazon, about this off Amazon. This microphone I've actually had for a while, although I just started using it for the podcast. But yeah, like I said, I'm a Prime member. I bought that camera. I bought the lights on Wednesday. It came today. Actually, I have two. I only have one up right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'll have to play with it. And I don't know. We'll figure it out.
You
Right
do
now,
have a very like NYPD Blue interrogation factor about you right now, which I do appreciate.
It does look like, where were you on March 28th? Like one of those. Yeah. I understand that. And also like when I look up at all, it blinds me, right? It's just a little bright. But if I I could change the dimness, but it looks too dark, right? We played with it before and found the right dimness.
You're not stupid. You're already an intelligent guy. There's no need to bring up your dimness. Why are you doing?
Yeah, no, zero dimness. Show bomb. There it is.
Only to you. I liked that roast joke, to be honest with you. But actually, speaking of the Amazon thing, last night, Don C, who used to come to like the Funny Stop a lot, fat white dude that kind of looks like or sounds like Violent J from the Insane Clown Posse. Love him to death. He's definitely got, like, if he was in prison, there would definitely be an Aryan Brotherhood connected to him at all times. They would actually probably worship him as the Aryan Buddha. Like, he looks like what you would think CNN says white supremacists look like. And I love Don, but he works at Amazon. He's like, I love it. I don't do shit, but just go like this with boxes all day. I'm like, that is a slave right there. To Amazon.
No, it's those runners that get it bad, right? Because they have to make like a certain quota. And they don't even have time to pee. And stuff. But that's ridiculous, man.
It's fucked up.
But as a customer, it's fantastic. We're terrible people.
Is your shirt made in China, you fuck?
I mean, probably.
Then you're.
Where's your worse? Are you wearing? Is your shirt made in America? There's no way.
The UFC. Let's see what they make. I guarantee you, it's some
Taiwan.
It's some great free trade place like the Netherlands.
No way. What we got?
Made in Honduras. So it's still kind of weird, but I'm wearing my my UFC 203 t-shirt today. Stipe Miocic versus Alistair Overeem. I was there for that and was very happy with that result.
Who wasn't? Who was there? Right, most people were. I don't know how many people from the Netherlands were there that night. Maybe a couple. Probably. Look, I figured out how to Zoom. I just move in the laptop.
That's what I do. I got to push it back to kind of like get some headroom. But
it's okay. Right there, it's good. I like people to see my knickknacks and my beverage.
Yes, I've got.
It's about that time, man. I mean, it's not that time to stop because we have a lot of shit we have to talk about. We haven't started yet.
And we've only gone an hour and a half with just bullshit.
That's because we were gonna have an all bullshit episode that we couldn't get done because we had some things and it happens. But we missed the all bullshit episode, so we had to do some bullshit. And we will. And also, we haven't done yet. We haven't done my hero of the week from last week yet.
Yes, I will bring that banner up for you and do the sound effect. Tim's hero of the week.
It's terrible.
It's a decent VO. I think it was a decent VO. I think we should pay Sean Lynch to do our VOs. That would be kind of fun. He would do wacky voices for us.
Yeah, sure. If we just knew how to, work them. Okay.
So who's your heroes of the week, my friend?
All right, hold on. We got to do honorable mentions, right?
Yes.
Now, listen, honorable mention number 1 is Jalen Suggs from Gonzaga. Now, listen, we were supposed to do this originally Monday. That would have been a good thing because he didn't get whacked by Baylor until Monday night. All right, Baylor whacked Gonzaga in the national championship game. However, Saturday night, the UCLA Gonzaga game, Jalen Suggs hit this fantastic 40-45 footer at the buzzer to beat UCLA 93-90 in overtime. It was awesome. And there's a great video. I don't know if it was on Facebook or TikTok or some or both, probably. There's this girl who had a bar dressed in UCLA stuff, going nuts when UCLA ties the game with 3 seconds left, and she's still cheering and all pumped up when that last shot goes in, and she just goes, "Boop." You can just see her heart sink to her stomach, which, listen, as a Browns fan, happens all the time. I understand that happens. So I felt her pain for real. But Jalen Suggs gets that nod. Also, Shohei Ohtani from the Angels. Was it Sunday or was it Saturday or Sunday? He had a start where they batted him second in the order as a pitcher in the American League. They batted him second. In the first inning, he threw a pitch that was 101 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And in the bottom of the first inning, he hit a home run that was 115 off the bat. That guy's a badass. Like, I think everyone assumes that eventually something's going to give, and he's not going to be doing both for his whole career. But then again, no one thought he'd be doing both ever, really. People just assumed that no one would give him the shot to. I think, is Joe Madden the manager of the Angels now? I mean, that's the guy he'll roll the dice. That's the guy who will make up weird shit and try weird shit all the time. So if anyone is a good manager for him, it'd be him. He's the only guy that would bat a pitcher second, even though he's a great hitter. But yeah, it's interesting to see what they're going to do with Ohtani. He's the man. He's like the one player that I think most players, you're like, man, if we could put this player and this player together with his skills and his skills, we'd have one great player. He's like the one player you'd be like, man, I wish this was two different guys with half skill sets. Right? I wish there was like one guy who could hit like him, one guy who could pitch like him, so we can use them both. He's like the only guy like that right now. So this Babe Ruth, he's the only guy like that. But he's a monster. He's a fantastic pitcher and a fantastic hitter. I'm curious to see what they do with him. He almost got the nod for Hero of the Week, but I gotta give it to this kid, Nestor Higuera. Nestor Higuera is a place kicker for NAIA school in Arizona. I think Arizona Christian. A lot of small colleges had to push their season to the spring, so he's been playing. Now he had a game-winning field goal the other day for his someday last week for his team. But that's not. I mean, that happens a lot. That's not really the big deal. But the thing is, the internet exploded when they found out that this kicker who hit this game-winning field goal is 5'5" tall, 285 pounds.
Oh God!
Yes, he's a chode. He's a super chode.
Chode.
And he can boot the ball like no other. Hey, you gotta listen. This is one of those things that I could have sent you the picture beforehand. It would have been easier. However, I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Like last week with the squirrel video, I didn't want to ruin Hero of the Week for you. Like you're the person that hears it. I don't want to ruin it for you. So now you got to look up Nestor Higuera, or should I find it for you? Would that be better?
No, I'm looking him up right now. Higuera.
Higuera.
There we are. Let's look at this fucking kid. Images. Oh, wow.
You scroll down to the one of him, the red jersey kicking.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at him, though. Wow, dude. Jesus Christ. Somebody hit the empanadas hard as a kid.
Hey, this kid is my new hero, all right?
Great form, though. I would love to see this kid in the UFC. I'm looking at a picture
in the UFC
of him, like, getting ready to
He's
kick
not a fighter. What are you talking about, UFC?
But, I mean, you teach this guy kickboxing, I guarantee you he would get it. Like, you got to open the foot up to kick the ball first off. I mean,
this kid in the NFL.
No, I want to see this dude in the UFC heavyweight division. He's also Hispanic, so he can probably crack out of the womb.
He probably never took a boxing class in his life, but he can already box. Yeah, that's what happens.
But like you look at him, and he is a big son of a bitch, man. Like, wow, he looks older than us already. How is that possible? He looks like a 40-year-old man.
He's 21.
I know. I mean, but this dude, how far away? I'm gonna watch a video of him kicking.
I think he said his long was 60, but that one he hit the other day was like 40 some.
I'm waiting. I'm not seeing anything. Up here we are. Oh wait, it's not even a good video. Damn it!
Yeah,
why?
It's a bad video.
Far away video.
Just find that picture of him in the red jersey kicking. Everyone.
Oh, I did.
This. Okay. Show the world
that he deserves Hero of the Week. He really does. I mean, that dude looks like he's been through a lot as a person.
What Ohtani did was amazing, and no one's done it. It's in 100 years. But like come on, man. As a big guy, you gotta love the big guy athletes, man. Bit Butterbean, Jared Lorenzen, the hefty lefty, rest in peace, sir. Big Country Bryant Reeves, Roy
Andy
Nelson,
Ruiz.
Butterbean, Andy Ruiz, another one. Yeah, any of them, man. You gotta
Who
love
is
them.
Who is the arena football?
Most of the relief pitchers in Major League Baseball. What?
Bartolo Colon.
Bartolo Colon. When he hit that home run, he was the greatest moment in the history of baseball.
That's still, I watch that every year that it like I actually wrote that year down. Never thought Bartolo Colon would ever hit a home run, and damned if I was wrong. And I watch that highlight every year because it's just like it gives me hope.
He was always
hope as a fat boy.
Like he would always swing so hard that he'd spin around and his helmet would fall off. Like he was always one of those like swing it hard in case you hit it. And one time he hit it, and it was the best home run in the history of baseball. One of them. That should have been in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, he looked like the modern day Babe Ruth. Like it was just gut out.
Yeah, the thing is, but Babe Ruth had a good form, and this guy was just swinging and whacking and just hoping that he made contact.
Hey, man. You do what you got to do in the majors to get that paycheck, and that probably got him a bonus, if anything. I think that got him a straight up bonus from the Mets because he was with the Mets today.
Not the Mets. No, he was with the Mets, but no, not with the Mets. I mean, they were just sold recently, but the Mets, that family, I can't remember the name of the family that owned it, but they were in trouble for a while because they got ripped off by Bernie Madoff.
Yeah.
So they didn't have any money. They weren't spending money on anybody for a while.
That's why Bobby Bonilla Day exists.
Mm-hmm. Still, July 1st, we're going to celebrate Bobby Bonilla Day.
Oh, we are absolutely celebrating one of my favorite. That is one of my favorite sports holidays besides WrestleMania Day, and even this year. Like Christmas and fucking Halloween and any other holiday, I'm kind of contemplating skipping this year. And it would be the first time I've ever intentionally skipped a WrestleMania day because one, Peacock is censoring racist shit on their network, on their app for the WWE network. So I'm already kind of pissed off at them. Two, apparently the live streaming for WWE Network on Peacock from one of the pay-per-view Fastlane sucked ass for them. Like the WWE Network did a final stream of Fastlane right before WrestleMania, and they switched over to the Peacock Network, and now they're censoring shit and their live stream sucks. Like it's sort of like you looking for fights on the UFC Fight Pass. Like it sucks that hard. And I, as a wrestling fan, I'm sad about that. And also, you mentioned one earlier. We were talking about one. Go back and listen to that part if you're watching on the live stream. It's kind of funny because Tim watched it, and I was helping a friend of mine move a couch. That was how I spent my Wednesday night. But you were subjected to probably one of the biggest abortions to ever be allowed on national television, and that's AEW. I'm so sorry you had to be put up with watching AEW before really good shit like ONE FC, because AEW is just fucking garbage. It's terrible, sir. I'm so sorry you had to put up with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and I'm like, no. As soon as you Tim messaged me and sent me a really funny video that I'm going to post on our Instagram and our Facebook of him talking to me about what he's watching on AEW. And as a wrestling fan, and we've had a wrestler on, Dr. Jerry Graham Jr., go check that episode out wherever you stream stuff, as well as also our Facebook and Facebook, YouTube, and Tim's favorite place, Twitch, #cancel Twitch. And it's one of those deals where you watch AEW and it makes you question life itself. It's that bad of a promotion. We showed the exploding ring match that they had a couple months ago or last month. That just was a wet fart in church. I hated it. It was fucking stupid. But I'm sorry you had to be put up with any kind of tomfuckery from AEW, my friend. That's an apology from the heart, like from the fucking heart. You lost years off of your life watching AEW All Elite Wrestling, and I apologize for that.
That was me giving wrestling one more shot, Ray. One more shot. That's what I had.
You shouldn't have with AEW.
Well, it wasn't, it wasn't really my choice.
I'm going to take you.
It wasn't my choice.
I'm aware. I'll take you to an AIW show and you'll have a blast. I guarantee it.
When I've gone to local wrestling show before and they are fun. And like I said,
but AIW is way different
against wrestling, but
AIW, and they're doing a thing right now where they're actually doing a tournament style like thing right now that's pretty dope. Our friends, Steve Guy, right? Yeah, Steve Guy is their ring announcer. And I want to get Steve Guy on our podcast just so I can talk AIW with somebody. I think that would be kind of fun.
All right, I'll skip that episode, but okay. No, I'll just sit here and drink my drinks like I usually. And that's what I did for the Dr. Jerry Graham episode. However, I was very intrigued by it. I just didn't really have a whole say. Man, we you know what? Maybe we just suck as a podcast, man. Because no one's listening now. We got some good traction when the MMA whole shouted us out, but maybe those people were like, no, not for us.
Well, also we did start late today, sir. So it
doesn't help that we've been inconsistent with our times. But that's because
that's gonna stop.
And also because of stand up, right? We can have stand up shows any night, right? So that's the thing. So we're all. Yeah. I mean, even if we have a schedule set, it's still gonna change sometimes.
And that's why we do mega shows.
Yeah, like this, where we just keep talking until we're done talking. Which I'm not done talking yet. We haven't even started talking about fights yet, and I got to get another drink. So,
oh, you son of a bitch! So we might do pee break. Because I have to pee.
Can't do pee break at the same time.
What?
Can we pee break at the same time?
No, you go first, and I babble about plugging stuff. You go get your drink, and then you talk about how you want to replace me.
I've been doing that. I told you today I was going to replace you with my cat.
Yeah, that was the fun part. Danko. And I'll take you off screen right now, sir, and put it on myself. While Tim goes to get a drink. Yeah, Tim today texted me while I was at work. And excuse me, I know it's edgy when you burp into the microphone. Looking at you, Opie. And it's hilarious to me that Tim is trying to replace me with anything at this point. And because I'm all he has, motherfucker. That's right. That's all. I'm all you got. And he texted me this morning and was like, if you back out on this, I'm replacing you with my cat. And I'm on my way to a power spray when he's doing it. So I kind of had to talk him off the ledge. I kind of was going to make sure to kind of cancel on him. But then I'm like, I really don't. Yeah, but whatever. But it's hilarious to me that he's just trying to replace me with so many different people and nobody wants this job. Want to know why? This podcast is amazing with us. That's why we're the best. We're the best MMA podcast on the planet. We have one faithful Twitch listener. It's a great time, guys. This is the kind of podcast I've always wanted to do. The MMA holes have given us the opportunity, and they're dope for doing it. We just started late today, later than we should have, but it happens. And but no, yeah, everything's going good with my life. I'll show you guys this if you want to ever see what we're talking about, because sometimes we have video, sometimes we have audio to play. And if you want to really see the entirety of this show, make sure to check out our live streams that we try to do at least 2 times a week. Recap show on Monday. We also do a recap show or a preview show on Friday with interviews intermittent to that. We had Isaiah Watkins recently, who's fighting our buddy Brogan Enders. I always fuck his name up, but It's that thing. Tim's getting back into position here, and we're gonna go a lot to that. I was just telling people that when they watch stuff, because I want to kind of show this. And you were talking about me buying stuff because I haven't had it for a long time, or haven't. This is the haul that came to my house today, Tim. That is,
what is this shit? Dude, how much Alpha Brain is that? Is it like $300 worth of Alpha Brain?
No, it was like $50 worth of Alpha Brain.
Wait, there's no way.
It's a 30-day. The Alpha Brain is 30-day supply.
Oh, that's only 30-day. Okay, I get it like 90 at a time, but I don't. I'm not gonna get any more because I just bought.
Well,
this is
more
Black Oxygen.
This is on
I didn't take any Black Oxygen today.
I didn't.
No, not. Well, not. I just didn't get. I didn't eat today either. Like I've been sleeping all day. Oh. So, my power was out for a while. That messed everything up. Because I need my white noise. When my fan turns off, I wake up. Anyway, what we got? Elk bars. What is this?
Yeah.
No, I'm taking. Well, let me know how the new mood is. That's
new
probably
mood
just
is like really good.
St. James wort or something. I mean, that kind of helps. And that's cheap. But Alpha Brain, I've been taking it, and I don't think it's worth the money.
Alpha Brain usually for stand up is the best. I like Alpha Brain when it comes like stand up.
Well, if it worked the way I thought, I was hoping it would, which it don't. Maybe it probably is, but I don't know if it's worth me buy that much, right? As much as it costs. Black Oxygen, I just bought more of that. And I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna give it a couple of months here.
Well, it's working if you're still buying the shit, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I don't know if I give it a real good go yet.
But also I got the top one is Digest Tech, which actually I think comes in the full human box that they give you. But it's supposed to help like with like absorption of nutrients and all that.
You're like a full sucker, man. You'll take anything, but I like you'll buy anything Joe Rogan tells you to buy.
Pretty much.
All right. Hey, listen, I bought what Pat Miletich told me to buy, but he was talking to me directly.
I feel like he's talking to me directly at the podcast, and that's what you need to have with
2 million people.
That is true. But no, I'm gonna take a leak real quick. You can talk about trying to replace me, and then we'll get into some fights. How about that?
I suppose.
Oh, okay.
You know what? This is the thing. When he zooms in on me, the camera looks really good. Like it looks really good right now. I just feel like when we go pull back, it doesn't look as good. I don't know.
You should go full screen.
Yeah, when I'm full screen, it looks good. I don't know. Either way, cancel Twitch. That's down there. That's terrible to people that have Tourette syndrome like me and Twitch. So they call it Twitch. That's not nice. That's not good. My cat's here somewhere. Cat. All right. She doesn't care. She does what she wants. That's what cats do. What they want, whenever they want, all the time. Now, let's make fun of Ray for buying things Joe Rogan tells him to buy. Eventually Ray's going to buy a crossbow and he's going to start elk hunting, or a compact bow, and he can start elk hunting. And I'm just going to give him so much shit because he just does whatever Joe Rogan tells him. Like if there was like a Joe Rogan book of the month club, which there basically is. I mean, he talks about books all the time. I wonder how many books he's bought, or at least books on tape that he's downloaded that Joe Rogan told him to read. Probably a lot. Which I'm not saying they're bad books. I'm just saying it's really funny that he's doing whatever he tells him to do. And listen, people make fun of the Joe Rogan podcast. I like it. I mean, listen, I'm a stand-up comedian who likes fights, so it's kind of, why wouldn't I like it? Of course, it makes sense, And he's a liberal who's not that liberal. If that makes any sense, like he's not one of those super lefties that's annoying, and he's definitely not conservative. People think he is, and I don't know. You watch the show, you make up your own opinions about the dude. I like the dude. As my cat is trying to attack. Oh, she's attacking stuff. There she goes. What is she doing? Cookie, what are you doing? That's what I'm doing live on the internet, is yelling at my cat. So that's been fun. There she goes. I hope this is entertaining from everybody. I'll tell you about my new favorite podcast, though. And listen, I'm not the only one. This guy makes a lot of money on Patreon, and it's Tim Dillon. I was watching Tim Dillon yesterday. That guy's awesome. He's fantastic. Here's another TD. I was talking about how great Tim Dillon is.
Yes. He's a
That
hero.
guy-
I would love to have him on this podcast, just as like a bullshit session.
He's done Chad Zumach's podcast, Who We Know.
I'm sorry.
I like Chad.
I do not. And
Don't
I'll tell
say
you
that,
that part
man.
off stage.
Don't say that because listen. If we get Tim Dillon, Chad's going to have to be part of it probably. So don't talk shit. And I like Chad. I've always liked Chad's always been cool to me.
We will discuss that off the podcast.
I don't. I mean, I believe if something happened between you guys, but like he's always been cool to me.
No. Well, no, I'm going to say that as a caveat. Since you brought that up, Chad, I always will credit with kind of kickstarting my confidence in stand-up because of the idea that, one, I did 20 minutes in front of Jim Florentine at a bar in Amherst, Ohio, because Chad put me up in front of Jim Florentine. I will never say anything bad of stand-up wise of Chad Zumach. I actually worked at Magic 105.7 WMJI up here when Chad was fired from the Alan Cox show. It's actually a tragic story, but at the same time, it's kind of funny the fact that I was there for that, like Forrest Gump. But I've heard some stuff recently about Chad that I'm kind of like, no, especially to one of his friends or supposed friends, a guy that was very close to him. And we have cat time. Cat term. We got a cat term. This is the levity part of the show, everybody. Why don't I have cat? Oh, kitty time. Yay. Kitty time banner.
No, she's just doing her own thing.
No, and I respect Chad as a comedian. I will say that. I respect Chad Zumach as a comedian. I just don't talk to him anymore.
Well, what if I want to have Chad on?
I remember how you said about the wrestling thing with Steve Guy. Yeah, I won't be on that show.
That's weird, man. Especially because like he could help us get Tim Dillon too, probably. I mean, Tim Dillon does his show.
I mean, I can message Tim Dillon possibly and be like, honestly, I just want to talk to you about like conspiracy theories and all this shit because I've
do it. Maybe he'll get. I'm sure he gets it a lot because I mean, dude, that guy.
You know, I hit up Young Benjamin. I don't care.
Oh yeah, this is producer. That's funny because like his show, especially the ones he does puts on YouTube for free, it's just him making his producer laugh. That's like what I do here. Is Ray and I just make each other laugh. That's our show.
Yeah.
That's the show. But apparently he makes on Patreon literally $115,000 a month. Every month. That's how much he makes for Patreon.
Well, it's something to aspire to, for sure.
Right? Good for him. Good for him.
I love Tim Dillon. I think he is fucking probably one of the best comics on the road today. One of the best podcasters out there, and I'm not just kissing his big gay ass, but like, I love Tim fucking Dillon.
So do I.
Huh?
So do I.
I watch his podcast when it's on YouTube. If there's not a Tim Dillon podcast on a Sunday or a Sunday morning when I'm waking up from a hangover, it's a bad Sunday. Like, to me, that is a bad way to spend a Sunday, is not listening to that fat New Yorker. I love, and this is said with love from comic to comic.
He's so New York.
Yeah, this fat New Yorker not yelling into a microphone on my Sunday morning. It's like a Christian missing church. I feel like something is missing in the day, and it's a little bit of Tim Dillon. Like, I wish I could pay for his Patreon, but honestly, after hearing that figure, I'm kind of glad I do for free. But I do the free episodes.
Well, I looked at his Patreon. I think he only has like 2 tiers. I think he has like a $10 and a $20 tier. So it's not like there's like crazy.
Yeah, it's not that
tiers.
bad, but $10 a month though for me because I'm broke as fuck.
Yeah, same here too. Same here too. I already have enough that I'm paying for. Right?
I just bought Spotify Premium today because I'm like I'm feeling adventurous.
Okay. There's that. But no, that guy's hilarious. He's insane how funny that guy is.
Did you watch?
Because he just says things. Like he'll talk about his Airbnb experience, and he'll call those ladies out and call them lesbians. And well, they are lesbian, but like I guess apparently, or just call them the worst things. And he got kicked off of Airbnb for it, but he just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. That guy is.
Well, he's part of the community already.
He's broken in such a fantastic way for everybody else. And you know that guy has like a lot of comics. Most comics has this deep demons, but it's just hilarious for everybody else.
The openness that he talks about, like his family and shit and all that kind of stuff. The Cleveland episode that was filmed at Hilarities is still one of my favorite Tim Dillon episodes I've ever watched. It was him, Anthony Cumia, and like New Rock Stars. I'll say New Rock Stars is a nerd channel on YouTube. They kept me going through the early days of the pandemic when I had nothing going on. Before this podcast started, it was Tim Dillon clips all the time. Anthony Cumia or Compound Media after I got the first stimulus check, and then New Rock Stars for like breakdowns and rewatches of shit. Like, those were the things keeping me going. Every Sunday, I would wake up hungover from a drunken Saturday night of watching Oz, and Tim Dillon would sort of be my like soothing voice back to reality. I love Tim Dillon, dude. Like, I'm a fan, real big fan of Tim Dillon. Hopefully one day I want to like at least do a guest set in front of him. Like, that's my goal.
The thing is, Tim Dillon is the funniest things he does is his podcast. He's a good stand-up, but
his videos are great too. When he dressed up like Epstein's temple, that was.
Oh, I don't think I saw that one. Okay, I saw the coronavirus one. All right, yeah, he is and the Meghan McCain stuff. He's the best.
The pink wall in L.A. where he just is like,
but
he's great. His stand-up, I like a lot of his stand-up, but like, yeah,
his stand-up is very ranty too, but the thing is, his stand-up isn't his best thing he does. The best thing he does is other stuff. And there's a lot of people who stand-ups.
We're trying to have him on, and you're being like, yeah, stand-up fucking sucks. That's not what I said.
That's not what I said. Not what I said. Right? And you're talking down the one gate we have to him.
Again, I won't say anything bad about Chad in that.
I did that guy a favor recently too. I did him a favor recently too. So he probably come on our podcast.
Again,
it was a little favor. It was a phone call, but you know,
I'm not going to begrudge it. I messaged him on Facebook and stuff like that, but I haven't heard from him. But then I heard stuff, and I've already kind of said too much.
I helped him get a hold of his accountant.
Ooh, that's actually a nice thing of you.
His accountant. So I went through his accountant's roommate to get a hold of it for him.
Wait,
there you go.
Do I know this accountant?
Yes, and you know his roommate.
I did not know that. That's actually kind of cool. Not gonna lie.
He was trying to get a hold of him, and he couldn't get a hold of him because I don't know, his phone was off or something. And he put something on Facebook, and anybody get a hold of him. And then he messaged me, and I'm like, yeah, I'll call Harrison. So,
oh God. Don't implicate anybody.
I didn't implicate anyone. Nothing illegal was happening.
Well, I'm aware, but still. But no, again, I'll give you a golf clap. But yeah, I don't know. It's the person I'm talking. We'll talk off because I don't want to talk about that.
Don't put us in holes with people that with comics or anybody. Don't put a hole with many people. Don't do it.
Well, and again, I can kind of. I have stories about Chad back before I did stand up, minus the WMJI thing, which is still pretty hilarious to me.
He did my show in New Philly one time.
I would hope. I mean,
back when I had a show in New Philly, it was like he actually got a hold of me because it was right after he got fired from the radio show, and he was looking for gigs. And I'm not going to begrudge you. He's like, hey, do you need
business or anything?
He's like, hey, you need headliners? Like, I'll do your show, and I'm like, absolutely. So,
but
he's a good get.
No, and again, I will always say, Chad got me in front of some big names. He had me host a few times and gave me some huge shows, like almost sold out shows. We did a thing at Willoughby Brewing Company when that was still a thing. And Chuck Booms from 92.3 The Fan. And it was to this day one of the most fun shows I've ever done because that crowd was lit as fuck. Chad did very, very well. And then Chuck Booms just did Chuck Booms material the entire time. Which if you've seen Chuck Booms, it's funny, but it's Chuck Booms.
Whose show was that? Was that Florentine show?
The Florentine show was put on by Chad, and also Joe Howard was there. It was me, Joe Howard, Chad Zumach, Jim Florentine, and Jim Florentine was right fresh out of the divorce when he was doing I Kept the House. Like, he was doing that stuff.
That says it's really funny. Like I think I'd said before, Florentine, like when he was married, I saw him and he was like being angry about things that he really wasn't angry about because that's just his thing. And I'm just like, okay, all right. He did like 15 minutes on like how his phone won't charge correctly or something. I'm like, it's funny. Yeah, but then he got divorced and that shit is just like, oh my gosh, it's hilarious. Yeah, he was killing it. But those guys, man, I've seen a lot of great bar shows with Florentine and Jameson.
Yeah,
there's those guys, the alt crowds come out for those guys, and it's fun. Like I did it a while ago. I remember doing a show at Jameson. It was awesome. It was in Misery, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Misery.
Yeah, it's like right on the border.
Yeah, it's
that was fun.
But no, yeah, like I said, I will never say anything bad about Chad the comedian at all. Because he's been nothing but wonderful to me in the comedy realm since I started doing comedy. He's been great to me.
Talking about radio stuff, I'm assuming.
No, but again, we'll talk about that.
It's not really important. Podcast is over. You've been all over the place. I feel like this episode has sucked.
Yeah, we're about to get into some fights. You want to talk about Trapperkeeper?
Of course. The thing is, like we said, we don't know what this show will be. It will probably be an MMA show. We assume it would be. But the thing is, we like to talk about all things. But I don't think anyone, I don't know, if we didn't have any kind of theme or hook or anything, I don't think anyone would really give any shits about us, more comics talking about nonsense. So we talk about our nonsense. We also talk about fighting because we do like to talk about fighting. We're not making that up. We love fighting.
Yes,
we love talking to fighters. All those things.
But let's talk about this fight because this kind of got put together willy-nilly. Darren Till out with an injury and needed an opponent, and you kind of called this. You called this very quickly. Nostradanko definitely on point with who came up on this fight in Kevin Trapperkeeper Holland. To be honest, I don't know who wins this.
Well, I think the other day I picked Vettori tonight. We talked about this the other day.
Yeah.
However, what I've been liking is I've been looking at the Kevin Holland interviews, and the guy looks pretty focused. He's like, I mean, he'll still do his thing, but it looks like he's not going to do the same shit he did with Brunson. He's like, yeah, everyone loves it until I lose, and then everyone gives me shit for it. And but it just seems like he's still going to. I mean, I would be very surprised if he didn't. I mean, that's what he does when he fights. He's going to talk to Vettori when he fights. That's what he always does. But I don't think we're going to see half of what we saw with him just yelling at Habib and all that stuff during his fight. I think we're going to see him more focused than he was before, although we'll still see him beat Kevin Holland, which is good. Which is what you want. You want a little bit of Kevin Holland, but you also want him to be focused enough to win. And I think he's going to have a good fight, a better fight. However, I picked Vettori to begin with. Vettori is just a monster. He's a scary guy, and I'm going to stay with Vettori. However, I'm pulling for Holland because I love the dude. But Vettori is a monster, man. I can see this being a war, and I can really see this being a really great fight. Probably stay standing for most of the time. However, Vettori is probably knows that he could probably get on top of Kevin Holland to win the fight there. Although Kevin does have a good ground game, we just haven't really seen him get any subs really. But I think these guys both think that they're the better striker in the feet. So I think that's where they're both going to try to win this fight. So I'm picking Vettori still, but I hope I'm wrong because, again, I feel like I always had to explain the bit. But his name is on my Trapperkeeper. I read his name in pink gel pen with hearts and creepy S's.
Yeah, I like the fact you added hearts there, sir. That's quite nice, actually. It's a good touch. Do you have like the white sheen in it, or is it just all one solid pink?
Yeah, it's the pink gel pens. You know those pink gel pens?
Yeah. But like
Yeah.
you know how some people will put like little squares to show like light of shining and stuff like that as like an artifact. You
Okay,
have that.
maybe. See, this is the reason I got. But the thing is, I got a white Trapperkeeper.
That's what I'm talking about. You,
Yeah,
you make
the
two little
Trapperkeeper is
circles
white,
and then
so-
draw around them.
Sure. I mean, the Trapperkeeper itself is white, so I can draw on the pink and it shows well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I wrote Mr. and Mrs. Kevin Holland in purple.
My question to you is because of the fact that Kevin Holland, about 2 weeks ago now, comes off of a 5-round battle with Derek Brunson. Do you think there's going to be? Do you think Kevin Holland's tank can handle that? I mean, we've seen him go a couple weeks and stuff like that, but like, I honestly think he'll kind of outlast, and that's why I'm picking Kevin Holland. I honestly think he will outlast Marvin Vettori a little bit because Marvin's got, I'm not saying full on show muscle, but he's definitely got some like he's a jacked cat, man. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody in the history of the world that has jacked has bad cardio. You know that's not true. Sometimes that's true. But I don't.
Well, if you
Vettori,
look
he's
like
not
you're
ever
on
shown us any.
gas.
Yeah, but he's never ever shown us any reason for us to think that. Never. With that fight with Hermanson, he didn't like. He's never showed us that. But if you're right, you might be right this time. I don't know. I doubt it because I really think he doesn't have a cardio problem. However, to answer your question, sir, Kevin Holland came in at 183.5, which means he never cuts a lot of weight.
Wow.
There's a reason why he can fight so many times because he doesn't cut a lot of weight. Could he make 170? Yeah, but he couldn't fight the way he does. And I don't really think it's ever been a problem for him not being that big. The reason that Derek Brunson was able to get him down and whatnot had nothing to do with his size, I don't think. He just wasn't using his hips correctly. He made a lot of mistakes. And also in that fight, he spent most of the fight on his back. Insert your own joke here. But and a lot of times he was just a laying right. Herb Dean, like how many times did he say work to him? And he didn't really he warned him 1,000 times and never stood him up.
And running his mouth the entire time.
Well, Kevin Holland, but I'm talking about Derek Brunson. What he was doing, he wasn't doing much.
Well, I mean, he was just
he won the
for
fight.
judge it.
He won the fight. But anyway, my point is, Kevin Holland. I bet he's good and fresh and awesome. And he's going to look good. I think he's going to look a lot better than he looked in the last fight. Also, this is stylistically, it's a better fight for him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm picking Till, but I hope I'm wrong because Kevin Holland's my dude. And I think the sport will be better if this guy's an actual legitimate. Holland's my dude. I'm picking Vettori, but Holland's my dude. Whatever I said before.
Yeah, but you said Till.
Sorry, Vettori.
You said Till.
Okay, I believe you. I'm sure I did. Vettori. Hey, Till was supposed to fight in this anyway.
Maybe
Till and Holland. If Holland wins this fight, Till Holland, man.
That would be a dope fight.
Yeah, but anyway, and also he can almost erase what happened against Brunson if he knocks out Vettori. Right? People are gonna be like, "Yeah, that happened," but then that's not. That's whatever. That was a weird thing, and I don't know if he'll jump over Brunson for that win, but I mean, dude, Brunson would be pissed if he did. I know he would, and he has a reason to be.
Rematch.
It'd be interesting
because of the fact that there was a lot of stalling going on by Brunson. I think honestly, you do that fight over again with a confident or the much more focused and confident Kevin Holland. I honestly think Kevin Holland has Derek Brunson. If he's not, yelling to the worst fighter to ever walk into the octagon.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Don't forget. Dude, I told you I'm going to get a Habib Funko Pop to put right here.
That's fine. It's better than a fucking stupid $165 hat. I'll buy a toy or a bobblehead for the table here when we get the bobblehead will be fine. I'm fine with that.
50 subscribers. I'm going to buy something. I don't know what. Dude, I found a Roy Nelson action figure.
That would be fun.
But it's old, so I have to pay more for it than I probably should, which I don't want to do. You can always find, like, I'll buy one that's out of the box. I don't care about resale value. All right. I just want it for the podcast.
There's a fight.
Kevin Holland will be fine. To answer your question, he'll be fine as far as cardio goes. Picking Vettori, but I hope Holland wins.
There's a fight that I'm desperately waiting to see on Saturday at 3 o'clock on ABC, which I love the fact that it's an afternoon on like the ABC affiliate. I think that's better than like 12 p.m. on ESPN Plus. I think that's kind of a waste of a card. But like being on an actual national like brand in the afternoon on a Saturday, that's fucking awesome. But the fight I'm looking forward to the most is the plate glass kicking, shit talking wolf that is Flint, Michigan's own, the man badder than the water they drink in his home state. I am talking about none other than the motherfucker known as Mike Perry, back in the octagon after making his ankle bleed. And he's drawn a good opponent in Daniel Rodriguez. You'll never not know what the year he was birthed in because it's across his chest, and I'm very happy about that. But what do you think about Mike Perry coming back?
Listen, this is another one where you know what? I never thought I'd be rooting for Mike Perry. The reason I want him to win because I like having him in the UFC, right? And he hasn't been doing great lately. He's let me look again. He lost to
his girlfriend's his fucking corner man. Come on.
It's great. But however, anyone listening, episode 55, watch it. Episode 55 is probably my favorite episode we've had. Because we had John Gunther on from The Ultimate Fighter, and he is one of the most fascinating people on earth. I love him. He's everything you want a fighter to be. He's fantastic. He's fun. Yeah. He's just give a shit. He's going to fight. He's super interesting and a really fun, cool guy. He talked about, he was in Miami. I forget which gym he was at, but the same gym as Colby Covington. I don't think it was American Top Team, but I forget what gym it is. But he said Mike Perry was down
AKA
there.
Maybe?
It wasn't that either, because I would remember that. Like I don't remember. Either way, he said Perry was down there. So if he's getting good training, he's going to have maybe a real corner this time. I don't know. We'll see. I think he might look better. And that's the thing. This is a guy who has a lot of talent, but sometimes this comes in like, whatever. Do it out. It maybe doesn't come in completely serious about it the whole time. And when he does, he's really good. I mean, he's coming off. Okay, they lost to Tim Means. Then he beat Mickey Gall. Before that, he lost to Jeff Neal and Vicente Luque, who are monsters.
Yeah.
Monsters. So, that's
and Jeff Neal and Neil Magny are fighting, which is, do I believe that's a palindrome, sir? Is that a technical palindrome, or because Jeff Neal, Neil Magny?
No, I know what you're saying. I don't think that's what you're thinking of. I don't know.
I hope for a. Well, no, I kind of hope in an alternate universe that there is a Neil Jeff fighting a Magny Neil. That would be kind of a, because they both have the same kind of name, so it works. That would be kind of a good. I hope there's a backwards universe where that's happening.
That's news to me, man. I didn't hear about the Magny Neil fight. I heard about the Thompson Burns fight. That's going to be fun.
That's going to be dope. That's going to be a dope fight. But no, Neil Magny. I believe it's in May or June.
Okay. Daniel Rodriguez is coming off a loss to Nicholas Dolby by decision, but he has wins. He knocked out Dwight Grant, who's very tough. Dwight Grant's like a guy with like really long limbs and like a small torso, kind of like for his build. I don't know. If you look at him, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it should be good. I think I'm picking Rodriguez, but I hope Perry, because he's fun. He's so nuts. He's fun. I hope he wins because I want him to stick around. I think he'd stick around anyway, but if it gets real bad, they might be thinking, I don't know. I don't know what this guy, maybe he'll be in the
If he loses again, he's definitely on the bubble.
He is in the bubble. But they like him. And they said before they really like him. And he's another one of those guys that I don't expect him to be a contender or a champion. But every time you see him fight, you're like, oh, cool. Mike Perry's on the card. That's cool. He's not the only one like that. Sam Alvey's on this card too. Sam Alvey hasn't won in a while, but he's the same way. He's fighting Julian Marquez.
Yes, which I think is a very good matchup for Alvey.
It's an awesome matchup. It's fun. I'm picking Marquez. I don't think Alvey has a shot. Marquez looked fantastic in his last fight. He had that comeback submission in the third round, comeback win. Alvey has not won a fight since 2018. His last fight was a draw against what's his name? I'm going to get it in a second here. against Jung, who's also fighting on this card. Is fighting William Knight on this card, and I'm picking him to win that fight. But Alvey has not won a fight in a minute. Specifically, his last win, June 1st, 2018.
Wow.
And he's lost he's lost 4 fights in a row, and then his last fight he had that weird draw against Jung.
Yeah. Who do you? I forget who.
Hard on the block, this guy. Everybody loves Sam Alvey, but he's hard on the block for sure, man. He needs a win, and I want him to win for that reason. Picking Marquez because he looked great in his last fight. Had maybe a little bit of ring rust. Probably going to look better this time. Coming in as a replacement to fight Sam Alvey. Love Sam Alvey. Again, you see Sam Alvey in the card, you're like, yes, something nuts is going to happen because of Sam Alvey. But he's lost a lot in a row. Hasn't won in almost 2 years. So, excuse me, almost 3 years.
Yeah.
So he needs a win. If they like him, I know UFC likes him because they keep him around already, and people like to watch him fight. But if he doesn't win, it's going to be tough. So he's going to need a win for sure. Another episode, our Drew Schottenheimer episode. Drew tells us a really cool story about waking up in the morning and seeing Sam Alvey like over him with that creepy smile on his face. That's the most terrifying thing you ever think of. You just wake up to Sam Alvey with that serial killer smile on his face, just leaning over you like, you ready to get up, bud? That's terrifying. But
looking at you like that creepy Christian dad that you slept over his kid's house a few too many times, Yeah.
Now, this is also former Hero of the Week winner, Julian Marquez, for that the whole Miley Cyrus thing. So listen, if he does it again or something, listen, he could win Hero of the Week again. He could be our first 2-time winner. Who knows?
I like that. I think we should have a belt for Hero of the Week.
Maybe. Oh, you know what we need a belt for?
What do we need?
We had, between you, me, and our buddy Alan, who's been on the show, we had an NCAA tournament bracket. Like I wanted people to join it. No one joined it. I said there's 3 people in our bracket club, and I won. The thing is, they don't care about it, but they knew that if they beat me, they could give me mad shit for it, and it would.
Would, because I did not give 2. I never cared about brackets. Like I do them for like the NHL because they'll give away like a car and stuff like that, and I love hockey. MLB every year when they do the playoff bracket, when you can pick your own playoff bracket, I do that.
That's the thing. You should always do it because some of those things just for free will give away prizes if you accidentally have a really great bracket. You don't have to enter it. It's not, you don't pay anything. You just have to do it. And it's always by accident, right? So you can always.
But I am actively a hater of March Madness because like ever since high school, like there would always be those people in high school that like got their brackets together and they're all like, here's the thing. It's been almost 15 years and you're at Buffalo Wild Wings now drinking fucking Budweiser. Like I hate the fact
I do that
they
too.
Do it.
That's fun.
Ugh, it's the same kind of thing when people do fantasy baseball at like a sports bar.
But you're like, acting
come
like,
on, do it at home.
Why is that a big deal? Why does that bother you at all?
I gotta hear of some fucking guy making a pick like he's goddamn Manfred, and you're like, no, I don't care. I go
to a different place. Listen, you're at
a sports place if I go there.
But you're at a sports bar in a place that through advertising pushes himself as the place for sports to do that kind. They want those people there, right?
I hate
now if you were at a TGI Fridays, okay, bitch about that. But you're at Buffalo Wild Wings, who pushes himself to be that kind of place, okay?
But the fact that they go there angers me because they bought the advertising.
Right. Also, like
it doesn't help that I took advertising classes in high school.
No, we know what they're doing. You had advertising classes in high school?
Yeah, that was actually an elective.
All right, big school. You big school. We barely had math in our school.
We were kind of rich. My senior year, here's my favorite part about fucking Menor. My senior year, Osborne, which is like a major company in Northeast Ohio, They do like it's sort of. I don't even know what Osborne does. They do like something with like agricultural or something like that. But they actually paid and named the fucking stadium after the original like patriarch of the Osborne family. Because, and I will say this, greatest track I ever ran on when I was in track when I did high school track. I'm not gonna lie. And they made, you know how like the AstroTurf shit with like used tires in it and stuff like that like pro fields do. That's what Menor has.
Yeah. No, I mean, no. Listen, you're talking about the football field.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. New Philly has that too. A lot of dude. There's small schools. Garraway High School has that turf, and they all push the rubber into it. There's a lot of schools that have turf now, like a lot.
Yeah.
So,
and when you played ultimate frisbee on it, you never really got any like rug burn or anything, which was good. Well, I liked that turf when I would run around on it. It was fun.
I told you, actually, New Philly's on their second set of turf now because it lasts about 10 years. You need to replace it.
Yeah.
I think I've said this before in the podcast, but when I graduated in 2006, we had our graduation in the middle of the day on a Saturday. I think they do it at night now because it was hot, but and it was on the grass and on the football field. That same day when we left, they brought in the bulldozers that same day and started just plowing the thing because they put the turf in right after that. I'm like, get rid of everything you reminds us about this class.
My senior years when they put because I graduated a year after you, I was 2007, and I remember being in 9th grade, and our track around the football field, by the way, was like natural grass, and it was garbage. You would have kids like breaking their ankles because all of a sudden they'd get in a quagmire, just straight foot in mud and just snap their fucking ACLs. It was bad. But I remember for hockey, you have to run like a mile in a certain amount of time, and being the way I'm built, I wasn't good for like long distance. I'm more of a sprint kind of guy. But yeah, we were doing a mile on solid concrete. And when I was in 9th grade, our track, before they put in the track my senior year, had a hole about this big in like lane 5. And every time, and nobody wanted to be in that fucking lane when they were doing the 100. Nobody wanted to be in that fucking lane because with track cleats, once it hits cement, it's useless. It's the most like think of getting slammed on the octagon bare boards. How much that would suck. That was running a 100-meter dash in lane 5 at my fucking high school track. It was terrible, sir. Terrible. Just awful. Like this show.
What? I'm texting during the show. Texting Buddy Allen. See if I want him to get into the chat because no one else is. How's first of all, I didn't tell you this because I was paying attention to high school basketball as I usually do. Mentor made it to the semifinals. They were undefeated going to the semifinals, and they lost in the semifinals. Division I semifinals. And then what's their baseball field look like? Because like, listen, if a school has a really nice baseball field, then they got something going on.
I mean, I'll say this as a Menor alumni, football takes priority.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
However,
football takes priority. That's how you have to, like, when I say the baseball field, I haven't seen the baseball field in a long time. They have banners up now, which is nice. Okay. But like, they're baseball fields.
Jackson High School, Massillon Jackson High School is a school about the same size as Mentor, and they're often good in some things too. And usually not football, but basketball. They've won some state championships. Their baseball field is immaculate. It's the reason I bring it up. It's just so nice that Malone University, which is now a Division II NCAA Division II school, plays their home games on it. They play their home games on a high school stadium. That's how nice it is. They used to play them at Thurman Munson, but listen. If I had stupid FU money, I'd buy Thurman Munson Stadium in Canton. I would own that. I'd have tournaments.
Would you ever crash your plane into it?
You monster. My grandfather, it's funny. My grandfather was looking for like a tribute to Thurman Munson at the Hall of Fame when we went a couple weeks ago.
Sadly, one of my favorite bits in Opie and Anthony history is the Don West shop at home bit Anthony does, where he's on like a megaphone talking in, like he's calling in, and he's like, I need a piece of Thurman Munson. And you're like, that is dark enough for me to be like, yeah, that's funny. Like, that's hilarious shit.
Thurman Munson. That is it's fucked up, but it's very funny.
But
I told you, with my buddy who I was just talking to, Alan.
All respect
in high school.
to Thurman Munson, by the way. All respect. Great baseball player.
Great, yeah, fantastic catcher. I
think I had a baseball signed by him at one point that like I wanted an auction or something. There was something Thurman Munson my Catholic priest cousin used to put on a golf outing every year. And I went one year and was like a ball boy. Like I would like if their ball was kind of got completely lost, I'd go run around and get it or whatever. But it was definitely it was definitely interesting because they had, I think, a Thurman Munson like autographed something or other. I don't remember what it was in the auction, but they had Thurman Munson stuff because he's from this area.
Yeah, he's from Canton.
Yeah.
The high school he went to, I forget the name of the high school, but it doesn't exist anymore. It wasn't Timken. That one also doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, that's where they had the stadium in Canton, and they had independent baseball teams there, the Crocodiles and the Coyotes, and it was fun. We went to those games when I was a kid, and they were a lot of fun. I remember my stepdad and his friend would sign up for like the contest, and they draw a name, and someone would go in the field and do like a dizzy bat run or whatever.
Yeah.
And they won. His buddy did one where if he won a prize, if he hit the ball off a tee over the fence from the grass line of the infield to the outfield, like second base, they put him out there. And they had like a ball girl like 20 feet from him to like get the ball. And he's like, you might want to move. He's like, and he hit one, from the infield over the fence into the parking lot on the first drive. But it was fun. Seeing my stepdad fall down was fun. Yeah, they were fun. Like I would do that stuff now if
I used to sign people up for that stuff. When I worked for the Monsters, I used to sign people. I worked for the Cleveland Monsters, the AHL team that's in Cleveland, and it was actually kind of funny. One time I went to a Monsters game during their 10-year anniversary, and they played video. I want to get those videos. If I have to pay the Cleveland Monsters money to get those videos to play on this podcast, I absolutely will. Because I think that would be kind of funny, because there's one where they're pulling me out from the inflatable monster head, because and then like they find me inside, like wrapped up inside the fucking like inflatable monster head as well. It's a funny bit, and it's done to Real Monsters Heroes, which is supposed to be like Real Men of Genius at the time. That was like a huge thing.
Was it called All Real Monsters Heroes?
Yeah, my nickname was always Crumb. I was never Icarus. I wanted to be Icarus, but somebody already had taken it before I got it.
Crumb was the man.
Crumb was dope. I actually used to be able to draw those guys pretty well. Like Koblina, I was a decent Koblina drawer. I'm not gonna lie.
Crumb was just like an H field goal, right? Because he was like his arms holding his eyes. Anyway, fam.
But no, and then there's one. Literally, we're in the office dancing to Cotton Eye Joe.
Okay.
And you see an 18-year-old Ray Highclack. I know. I literally, I'm in a suite for a major corporation here in Cleveland, and all of a sudden they play that shit, and I start freaking out, going, "This is embarrassing!" Like, oh my god, like, because I was like, I think I was 28, so it was like 10 years after all that shit, and then all of a sudden I'm at a fucking hockey game, something I love to. I grew up on minor league hockey in this city. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh yeah, I'm part of its history. I forgot about that.
Because you danced to Cotton Eye Joe.
Oh, every game. Every game. Third 5 minutes left in the period. That was usually the cue.
That's something. I think what we got to this because I asked you about Mentor's baseball field. I talked about my favorite baseball fields I've been on before because I umpire sport. You know, that's the one thing about that Mighty Ducks Game Changer show. This is not as big of a turn as you think it is. Because, I mean, it is like I watched the original Mighty Ducks last night. And like, I'm like, is it just me or like, are the kid actors just so much better in the 90s than they were now? I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's nostalgic for me. Excuse me. Although I was like 5 when that movie came out. You're young. Excuse me, younger than me. It came out in 92.
Yeah, I was 3.
Yeah, excuse me. Or 4 or 5, like depending
5.
on when it came out in 92. So depending on when it came out, it was 4 or 5. That's why I was a fan of the second one more because it was older then. But you know, looking back, the first one is definitely the best one. But also, apparently that script was supposed to be a lot darker than it ended up being when they shut the Gordon Bombay is 2 different kinds of gin, and they named him that on purpose. Yeah, they named him Gordon Bombay on purpose because he was supposed to be a really hard alcoholic, and it's supposed to be a big part of the. They should have. I want them to make that like
he had a DUI.
I know. And you think about it, it is a really dark movie for a kids movie in the 90s. Like, especially the part where he like threatens to sue like the Pee Wee Hockey League, like if they don't let a kid play in a different team or something. Like, I'm like, it's ridiculous. Anyway,
I honestly, when my this is why I hate D2 and D3. Mighty Ducks 1 is hockey. Like, it is a political sport where you kind of have to like. It's like Menor when I talked about Mitch Trubisky. Hockey is a very political sport when it comes to like playing time, all that kind of bullshit.
All sports are, man. What sport isn't?
Hockey Fighting, has a different level.
MMA because it's an individual sport and you win, you go up. That's pretty much how that is.
I think that's one reason why I gravitated to fighting outside of like hockey when I was a kid, because I looked at hockey or fighting and I'm like, oh, that seems fucking fun. Like. I'm out there by myself. I don't have to rely on anybody. Yeah. It's like being a comic. Comics and fighters, we've talked about it on this thing before. There's 2 things people avoid: public speaking and fucking fighting. And it's a very true statement. And I love both. I love both so much. Oh, so good.
Did you get a hold of the Barstool people?
No, I have to though. We have a this is the first time we're gonna bring this up because honestly I think I'm tougher than Tim. I want to get the podcast on Barstool Sport or Rough and Ready. Rough and Rowdy, whatever. I'll be the heel in this. No, I want us to fight each other. This stems from that fucking shit you backed out on the day after saying it years ago when it was, I'm like, I want to have an MMA fight. I'll fight you. All right. I want to fight Tim Danko. I don't like.
And the thing is, I'm not a back out kind of guy, but the thing is, like, listen, head injuries are real. The thing is, we would get so much traffic for the podcast for this Rough and Rowdy thing it would be worth it, right? Although I'd rather it be an MMA fight, but like us and an MMA fight together, which I think we could probably get together because I think I could convince enough people that that we were going to do it for real. I'd make some promises and they would trust me because I wouldn't lie to them. Because I wouldn't make a mockery. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, and I would go to my guys. I wouldn't make a mockery of it. We would actually fight each other. It would be real.
Tim Stafford. Shout out to Revolution Fight.
But really, the thing is, the Barstool thing would give us a lot of traffic and would help the podcast. So yeah, I would do that. I would box you for the podcast,
and that's coming up tomorrow, isn't it?
And I would train because I do not. The next one is, I think, I don't want to. I don't want to lose. Like, it won't bother me if you beat me, but I don't want to lose. I don't want to mess with the power dynamic.
If you beat me. I'm not gonna lie. Knowing the shape you're in, it would bother me a little bit if I lost to you because I'd be like, dude, I need to get my ass in like straight up shape.
Neither of us are boxing. Yeah. You know where I go though? I go to Cody Garbrandt's uncle right down the street here.
I would go to my boy Tim Stafford. Tim is a great boxer. Tim is the boxing coach and
honestly,
owner of
I would
Revolution.
I would go to 250 because those guys are my friends. But there is legitimate boxers around me, yeah, I would definitely do it. Now, like I said, the MMA fight would be more fun, but I would only do it if it made sense for the podcast because I don't really want to get hit in the head again.
Look, I think it would just be sparring.
You see that football
basically.
player who killed 5 people yesterday?
What?
He's a former football player. He played 4 years in the NFL. I think his last year was 2015. He murdered 5 people yesterday. 3 of them were children.
Oh, yeah, CTE's a motherfucker, man. CTE's a motherfucker.
And he also killed himself, and he shot himself in the head, which I think the anti-gun people were probably excited about. Hold on. That was unfair to say. Exciting was way.
This is the drunk portion of the podcast.
No, that was not the right word at all. No, but I'm saying that if they would have said, "Oh, it's CTE," stuff the gun, But it was a 45. I think he shot his people with. It wasn't an AR-15. It was a gun that. Listen, it would take so much legislation.
I'd have to ask you the question that I have in my head as well.
Let me finish this.
Off air.
It would take. Come on, write it down, or you'll forget. It would take so much legislation for people not to get 45s. Anyway, the point is, people in his family said this guy was messed up ever since he started football. And if anyone says, "Well, he didn't play that long," it doesn't matter. It's all genetics.
He still played most of his goddamn life.
Yeah, I know. Well, these guys are in the Hall of Fame. They don't have CTE or they don't do that stuff. Yes, sure. Anthony Hernandez had the worst, and he didn't play nearly as long as Mike Webster, and he wasn't a center in the 70s, right?
Or are you talking? Is there an Anthony Hernandez that was a center?
What? Anthony Hernandez?
Are you talking Aaron Hernandez?
Aaron Hernandez. Yes. Somebody said Hernandez.
You said Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony Hernandez.
I'm like, wait a minute.
That's fluffy.
There's only
Fluffy
one
Hernandez.
famous football player murderer in the last 10 years.
I was thinking the fighter Anthony Hernandez. But yes, Aaron Hernandez. Right. Okay.
Anthony Hernandez, shout out that big payout to all the sharks that bet money on you. You fuck.
No one does.
I still regret not betting on that, by the way.
Well, yeah, in hindsight, of course you do. But if I would have given you that bet, you would have told me to fuck myself.
Honestly, at that payout, what was it, 3,500?
It was 30 to 1, I think.
30 to 1. I would take that bet and not only go, you know what, I'm in Vegas and this is my first sports bet, but when it would pay out on like $100, I would have like called you crying because like my life would have been okay at that point.
Yeah, that too. But anyway, the point is, a lot of people said he was never the same after football, and the thing is, it's tragic because of that. Because you're like, this guy needed help, he didn't need help, but at the same time, you don't want to take away from the fact that what he did was horrific and
terrible.
And anytime, like you say, okay, you're saying this guy because he played football, he needed help, he didn't get his help. What about every other mass shooter? I'm like, yeah, they also needed help, didn't get help, but some of them, like the Parkland kid, are just like monsters to this day. You're like, forget that kid.
What's the guy from Aurora?
Chardon, that kid?
No, Aurora. I'm talking about the Aurora, Colorado shooting.
Oh, Aurora, Colorado. I think it's Aurora, Ohio. Yeah, no, that's the one. Not the Parkland kid. One of them's it was the Batman kid, the Batman movie.
Yeah. That
was the one that was nuts. And you're just like, yeah, lock that kid up. But you also like some of them are probably lost causes. But the thing is, like, the NFL should pay for therapy for the rest of your life. You played 1 year in that league. Done. That's basically what I'm saying. You play a year in the NFL, they should pay for therapy for the rest of your life.
And also, honestly, there should be, in my opinion, and even in the NHL, I mean, I can throw out the name Eric Lindros all day when it comes to concussions.
He's not the only one.
But he's the one that's most known for just being like glass jaw every time he'd get fucking hit. Eric Lindros got a concussion.
Well, like that's genetic.
Philadelphia covered it up. The Flyers covered that shit up. But I mean,
you know how many concussions have been covered up in the history of sports?
Oh, a lot. But at the same time, sir, like that's the poster child. always when I like young kids playing hockey, it sucks that they took hitting out of pee-wees, which is like 13 to 14. I think that should be I think honestly you're looking at what do you say? What are you thinking?
They play Pee Wee football that age, right?
Yeah.
So I think they play Pee Wee football. But the thing is, I am anti full contact until you are at least puberty age. That's me, because I understand how big of a deal that is for kids. You get concussion as a kid. It's not like getting a concussion as an adult. It's worse. It's terrible, right?
Oh,
and that's why a lot of soccer leagues don't let kids head till they're like 13 or 14 now, which is good. They shouldn't. I don't think they should. Like listen, get beat up when you're older, right? Don't get beat up when you're a kid, man. No, don't. That's not worth it for anyone. So I'm with some people, especially in this.
Oh, I guarantee you the reason I'm so crazy.
But no, dude,
continue. People hate you.
I didn't wish people. I wish I didn't play Pee Wee football in 5th and 6th grade because I got buzzed all the time as a 12-year-old. But and you played a lot longer than I did. Well, different sport, but still.
I got knocked the fuck out a few times.
Yeah, that's the point.
Knocked out.
But I believe if it was up to me, no contact in any. Listen, this would be okay if the whole country adopted it, and some states have, but the whole country said, "Hey, until you get to, let's say 7th, 8th grade, no contact in football, none. We're not only flag football till you're 13, 14." That'd be better. But the thing is, the whole country would have to, because like, oh, these kids will be behind because they didn't start when they were 10. Okay, maybe, but not the whole country does it. The whole country does it. And mostly only Americans play football anyway. So
yeah,
it's, I mean, there's a few Canadians, but besides that, I don't know how many people born in other countries play American football in the NFL. Yeah, not many. I can't tell you any. I can think of one Canadian. I know there's more than one, but I think of one right now. And he's a guy who sat out this year because he's also a medical doctor. He plays for the Chiefs. I forget his name. It is a weird French name.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he sat this year out because he said it was the right decision for him to help with COVID. So he didn't play this year, and that's good for him. He's a hero. That's a hero right there. He doesn't get hero of the week because we didn't start that then, but he deserves hero status. Anyway, point is, I don't think anyone should play contact sports until they at least hit puberty. That's me.
Hockey was brutal, especially in the practices. I don't know if football had this kind of shit where you would line up from in one zone from the defensive side of the bench all the way to the other side where like you would enter the rink, and what you would do is you would skate through and have people fucking just light you up and hit you hard. Like there's times you lose your I cut my arm one time, just bruised the entire forearm of in high school. I think it was my junior year on this kid's fucking what do you call steel face mask, because it was just a cage.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a gladiator fucking cage, and it just like destroyed my arm, like destroyed it. I got knocked out too during that fucking practice, but that kind of shit like bothers me now looking back on it. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, it made me who I am. Sadly crazy.
Yeah, when I remember football, again, I only play Pee Wee football, and I know a lot of people had it worse than me, but I'm thinking of like what you do as a 11, 12-year-old, right? We had the bull ring, which, you all get in a circle, and they number you off, and then coach will call 2 numbers, and those 2 numbers just went and just tried to destroy each other.
Okay, yeah.
It's sort of like, and there's also, and there's also the Oklahoma drill, which is 2 guys in the middle, and then like a runner and a tackler, and those just beat the hell out of each other. And I don't remember them ever saying, there wasn't any rules about head-to-head contact. I know they told you not to try for it. They wanted to get to the side. But, CTE, when I played Pee Wee football, still wasn't a thing.
No.
I mean, it was a thing, but we didn't, even when I was in high school, it wasn't. And I did attempt to play high school football for a minute. But I quickly realized what was going to happen because of my unathleticness that our friend Andrew Law has told you about multiple times. When I fought, that I'm not athletic. I'm not. At all. Never have been. But I got a big heart rate.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I would have been that guy who gets the shit kicked out of him every year, every day in practice, and then gets like he gets like a pity series at the end of the year or whatever, right? And like he's respected by his teammates, but he's not good, and he doesn't get like I knew what was going to happen. So I gave it.
I had a
hindsight. I'm happy I didn't when I learned about head injuries and whatnot. I would have been even worse if I would have played football. And I knew I would have been good at it.
I had a joke in my act for a little while about my hockey experience in high school. I sat the bench a lot. But here's my best story about being a bench rider in hockey. So I get a shift against the JV. I'm on JV at the time, junior year. And I get a goal against Lake Catholic, which like the Lake Catholic Menor hockey rivalry is like just St. Ed's. Like it's that kind of like deepness because of the fact Menor's so big. And the fact I got a goal and like a couple more shifts out of that game was probably the high. Like it's the Al Bundy scoring 4 touchdowns in a single game. Like that's the thing I can hang my hat on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Besides being a decent comedian, not great, not good, decent. I have my nights, but like that's the one thing I look back on and go, oh yeah, I can make it to 60 on that. Like I'm good.
No, my thing is, man, I had 2 varsity doubles tennis matches. And the 2 guys I play with, I'm still friends with to this day. They still live down here. We both played a varsity doubles match together. We won them both in straight sets, both of them. That's it. That's all I have. You know, we had 2 shots. We had a senior day, and then we gave us another shot, and we won them both. What?
Oh, you won them both? Good.
You won them both. Yeah.
That's the Mighty Ducks ending. Like that's D2. The Mighty Ducks are back. The knuckle puck finally worked. Like that.
I remember the first score. We played Zanesville, and we lost the first. We lost the first game, and we won the next 12. So we won 6-1, 6-0. And the second one, man, me and my buddy were goofing around so much that we had to go to tiebreak in the first set. We won the tiebreak, but then we won the second set like 6-2. And the coach is like, "What happened in the first set? What happened in the first set?" We're like, we kind of goofing around." Anyway, but we played that second match. We played girls because Coshocton High School only had 1 team. And if we have 1 team, it's co-ed, and they play in the boys' season. So yeah, they were girls, and we had. I played a lot of girls actually. So not every team we played had 2 teams. So
okay.
Anyway, but yeah, we played a varsity match. We beat them, and the first one was against guys. But honestly, no, I tell you right now, those girls would beat the hell out of those guys from Zanesville. They're better than the guys from Zanesville, for sure.
I've always said women's hockey is way better. Like I've been embarrassed on hockey teams by women because they're more technical. They understand female athletes understand technique more than guys do. We know brute force if it has to be used. But like female hockey to me is fascinating because like you want to talk about WNBA being about technique, female hockey way better than any other sport in my opinion because there's no checking, by the way. There's no actual physical contact allowed for some reason. I don't know about pros. To be honest with you, I don't know if because there is a women's NHL now.
Yeah. What about Olympics?
I think it's no contact, if I remember correctly.
Let me ask Google.
Yep, ask because it's been 10 years.
Women's Olympic hockey.
We're getting an answer.
No.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
it doesn't say Olympics, but it just says ice hockey. It says in women's ice hockey, any body checking is a penalty and also not allowed in leagues with young children. But I asked for Olympics. I didn't say Olympics specifically. I don't know, but
no, yeah, I remember that from being a referee. Like that, I had to call a few checking penalties on like 13-year-old girls, and I felt dirty about it.
Yeah,
like I felt very like this should be allowed. Like I think that would be perfectly fine for girls to hit each other. Like that's fine.
We've talked about this a lot, and we'll probably talk about it a lot again. But I think you and I using this word makes it sound like Like anyone who uses this word kind of like gets shit thrown at him. I think they should, because if you use the word, then you're like a feminist.
Okay.
We are sports feminist.
Yeah.
You and
I am a sports feminist. I'm against social feminism, but because I think it's kind of hardcore. But yeah, but I am for absolutely like women should do full contact with each other. Fucking
Also, man,
I love female MMA. I love female MMA.
And we talked about this, and we talk about it again. The UFC is the only sports league that had faith in their women athletes, and now dude. Like, I am pumped to see.
Well,
Amanda Nunes, they have.
You can make the argument. Scott
the NCAA's done. What? Coker? Okay. No, all right.
Coker,
yeah, MMA.
Coker and MMA Strike Force, and also Elite XC had female fighters before the UFC.
MMA in general. I should have just said MMA in general.
Yeah,
you're right.
Okay, I agree with you on that.
MMA in general. But the NCAA doesn't do shit for the women. It sucks. Dude, I watched the women's basketball Final Four. It was fantastic. It was so good. The Stanford's game in the Final Four, in the final, Stanford won the national championship, but Arizona had a shot at the end there. Great games, fantastic. And I'm like, why don't people watch women's sports more? And then I'm like, because it's been ingrained in our brains that they're just not as exciting, which is not true in a lot of cases.
And I agree with you on that.
I know. When you watch it, I'm like, this is great. We talked about the lingerie football league. Those chicks,
those bitches fucking slap.
It's fantastic. It's so good. I wish there was a team in Cleveland or Canton. Canton, Ohio should have.
They used to in Cleveland. Cleveland had some LFL league team for a hot minute, and then they folded. But like most things in Cleveland do, and
there needs to be some kind of pro football team in Canton, Ohio. I mean, there's been a couple arena teams, but if the XFL gets back up and going in 2022. Which they're planning on doing. Canton XFL team would sell out that stadium every game.
Canton Bulldogs. You bring back the Canton Bulldogs, make them an XFL franchise.
A lot of paperwork. It would take a lot of paperwork because a lot of people have to sign on it. Because I'm sure the Canton Bulldogs are owned by someone. But
I guarantee you, they would be happy to sign that over because of how historical that team is. Like I don't like.
That's the reason why I think they wouldn't do it.
I love the history.
I think the reason they wouldn't do it is because of how historical the team is.
I think
they want people burning the legacy in the XFL.
The NFL ain't ever gonna fucking do that shit. So
no, they were talking about, and I don't know if it's happening this year, but Major League Baseball last year was going to do a game in Iowa at the Field of Dreams.
Yeah, they're doing that again.
Stadium. They are going to do that. Okay.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
I think it's like August, September.
Okay. That sounds awesome. I would love to do that. It'd be expensive because there's only gonna be like 2,200 tickets or something like that. Anyway,
I wouldn't give a shit. I would mortgage a house that I don't own on it. Like,
well, if the Indians were playing, yeah.
No matter what team to be at that. Like, I love movie sets. Like, I was on a movie set at one.
They're gonna do it more than once, so they're gonna do more. They'll probably do it every year.
I was actually at the Johnstown War Memorial where it's a hockey rink, but they shot the movie Slapshot at. I love being at like historical fucking sets like that. That'd be kind of cool to go to Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams is one of my favorite movies. It's a romantic baseball movie.
Fucking film.
But yeah, no, I love to go to that. But they talked about doing a game, a regular season game, like they do it like in London. In the NFL in Canton, and awesome. If the team wants the Super Bowl or they want the draft, they have to give up a home game. Well, they do the Hall of Fame. They're talking about a separate game.
Interesting,
an actual regular season game besides the Hall of. Yeah, I mean they're redoing that stadium again. Like they're working on it right now. Yeah, working on it, and they're also doing that Hall of Fame village. They bought out all the houses behind there, and they're building a bunch of shit back. They want to make it a big thing. Hey, you know what? Canton as a Hall of Fame city is a lot different than Cooperstown, New York. I'll tell you that much. Cooperstown, New York is just there's like a one block of like restaurants and stuff that, they go hard on the baseball thing, but like, Canton is a whole different town.
Different animal, dude.
Yeah. Canton has people come to Canton and say Canton is boring, dude. Compared to Cooperstown, it's New York City. Like it's
Canton has what I love about Canton in general is the like not give a fuck about like the neighborhood itself. Like they have Stark State is right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a shopping mall like or not like or a shopping plaza like right by Stark State. And then all of a sudden you see the Hall of Fame and you're like, oh, that's the fanciest thing about Canton. And the auditorium's pretty historical too, but
I saw some good shit at the Civic Center.
that's what I'm talking about. The Canton Civic Center.
Yeah.
I've been inside there a few times.
They,
and it's got a good wrestling past.
They still have, I'm sure they do, and they still have high school basketball tournaments there, and they've had indoor football leagues and indoor soccer. Like anytime they have like a weird, like a small league pro team, they do it at Civic Center. And that's where the Can't Charge plays at the Civic Center, and that's the G League team for the Cavs. I saw Journey play there
with Steve Perry.
No, with Steve Aguri, who was like the guy right after that, who blew his voice out. While no, the guy after that, before that, he blew his voice out on that tour, and it was looking back. I didn't know that at the time, and looking back, I wonder why he kept going off stage, and like the drummer was singing. And then I found out because he was losing his voice, and he had to quit the band because of it. So
I mean, Steve Perry could hit those high octaves, sir. Like it's like
the guy they have now.
I've heard things about the Asian countries where they can like mimic American voices pretty well, and this is from like GIs and shit. And I believe it with the dude from Journey because he hits everything. I've seen live videos of Journey. I've never actually seen them, but like, yeah, that dude can fucking sing. I respect that guy a lot.
Yeah, and apparently they found him like digging on YouTube and found like a video with like 8 views, and they found that guy in deep Philippines.
Yeah,
good for him and good for them.
All right, buddy. I hate to do this. I know we had a great show. We talked a little bit about Kevin Holland versus Marvin Vettori on the podcast on the mega show, but I gotta be up at 5:30 to check my schedule. And
all right, we did tomorrow. A terrible job as an MMA podcast today. We didn't go through these fights.
It's the mega show. We fit everything we wanted to talk about in the week.
Oh, we didn't talk about the fights, but it's okay.
We did.
Not enough. We talked about 2 fights.
Okay.
But it's okay. It's okay. You gotta do your shit because you gotta go to work tomorrow. So
but thank you guys for watching. We appreciate the MMAholes.com. Go to MMAholes.com for the live stream of the Bro Plata. I know we didn't really get to that much. We kind of had a jerk off show today, and I'm fine with that. Make sure to check us out on YouTube, Facebook Live
podcast.
Huh?
We have a jerk off podcast.
We do. Every once in a while, we like to have the jerk off podcast. But go to Facebook Live, YouTube, and also Tim's favorite place, Twitch. # cancel Twitch on that one. Anytime you post about the Bro Plata, let us know because we are sad boys and like attention. And hit us up on our streaming services, wherever you stream your podcasts. And follow us at Bro Plata on your social medias. For Tim Danko, if I can get this right, a little bit too much alcohol tonight, everybody. I am Ray Highclack. This has been the Bro Plata, and we will, as always, fam, see you at the Kumite.
Dude, I guarantee you that the chick from Malta is going to win Eurovision this year. I guarantee it.